All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Eternal Lies, Call of Cthulhu tonight. Big thank you to Tales of Myth and Mayhem for the raid. Perfect timing. We're just getting started. If you haven't followed them already, please go follow them. They just started up their own Mask of Nyarlathotep campaign. I think it was only session 2 today, so they're like right there in the beginning when they're doing the Peru prologue. So take a look at that, and then you can like watch them, and then jump into us, and then go crazy over like 4 to 5 hours worth of Call of Cthulhu craziness. It should be fun. Today is going to be interesting. They've told me a little bit of what they plan to do. I have told them nothing of what I plan to do, and we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited though. I feel like there's a little bit of, I'm not sure if anyone's feeling it, but I feel like there's a little bit extra excitement because there's the possibility we finished up Los Angeles today. A little possibility. Or Los Angeles.
I thought you were going to say it was the possibility that Pastor Wood dies today. I thought that was where the excitement was coming from.
Every session for the last 3 sessions.
Yeah. So, it's I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I'm very excited. Lots of different things that are about to happen in different fronts. There's some interesting things that are going to happen on multiple fronts tonight. I can't wait to see how it all works out. Hopefully, it'll be great. But before we jump on into it and see how Steven derails us, let's go ahead and do our intros. Starting with Steven. Steven, tell us about your stupid character.
Well, I always forget that I'm the first to introduce myself. I am Steven, playing Pastor Wood. I am a man of the law. Firstly, Old Testament law. Secondly, Texas law. Jeff, I'm very proud of this introduction. And the fact that it makes me giggle every time just means I'm going to keep doing it, too.
I know. Just the hypocrisy. I'm a man of the law. Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay. Texas law.
It's bad. I love playing hypocrites.
It's great. I love it. It's fantastic. I love Pastor Wood. I'm going to miss him.
All right. That's all I got now.
Okay. As we've learned from other campaigns, even if I like your character, doesn't mean that that's going to suddenly give them plot armor.
No, that's true. We learned from Delta Green that you like my character so much you get them off screen and then clone the character for an NPC. So yeah.
It's still fascinating that you think that you came up with that idea, even though I came up with it literally about 4 to 6 months before I even invited you to a Delta Green campaign. So fascinating. So fast. If we take this to Judge Judy,
I was the first to reveal the idea.
I have timestamps. I have timestamps in all my documents, Google Doc tracking. You're pretty screwed, buddy.
According to American copyright law, it's the one that's published first, not the one that was thought of first.
And
so I think
neither of us have published anything. So
I was the first to reveal it on Twitch, and yours came like 15 sessions later.
You mean on my channel? You mean in which the content that appears on my channels reverts to me?
You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Anyhow, let's move on. All right, next up, Melissa, tell us about Marie.
So Marie is we were kind of talking before stream how we've kind of been separating into kind of like guys and gals a bit here in LA, and so Marie is part of the gals contingent that hangs out at universities and meets wonderful up and coming artists and all sorts of different things. She's jazz singer by trade and learning how to use her charm and persuasion for investigations.
Fantastic. And it worked really well last time as you got arrested by campus security. Next up, I am feeling, like I said, I was feeling a little extra today, a little spicy today. It's going to be fun. I'm already really, really hot. This jacket was a bad decision. I should have switched to the vest pretty quick. Next up,
without the jacket too.
Oh, look at you. It's too late, buddy. Too late. Next up, Maitre, tell us about Shima.
Shima is your student researcher and belt-leg linebacker and is very, very nervous that Dr. Key seems to be going kind of crazy, and Marie got arrested like 10 minutes ago, and now she has no idea what to do because there are no grown-ups around.
No grown-ups, I love that. Yeah, Beverly has gone somewhere else. She's physically here, but her mind is elsewhere. So speaking of Beverly, Ashley, tell us about Beverly and how you feeling about Beverly right now.
She's fallen for her drive. She's really in it. So Bev's feeling fantastic. She's doing science. She's learning shit. She's excited. She's about to make a fucking breakthrough. So yeah, she's feeling great.
Oh yeah. You're just the quest for truth is just you're
Ashley's
right there.
nervous, but
You can see the glowing exclamation point of the quest giver right there, ready to go.
Yeah,
it's there.
and I played World of Warcraft, so that's dopamine. I'm
exactly.
on it.
I know exactly what it is. It's right there. You just see glowing yellow exclamation points everywhere around you. Every little beaker, every little document, notebook, etc. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then finally, we have our nine-fingered. Never mind. We have Patrick. Go tell us about Patrick Long.
Patrick Press here, telling you about the latest styles of haircut, the newest antiseptic washes, soaps, and tonics. All can be found at BP Barbershop. Trust your tonsorial work to us.
Well done. That was beautiful. I loved it. That was great. That was fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. Stephen has convinced Long to embrace the PP group. Is that what it is? What we call
PP gang. PP gang rise up.
All right. Wonderful. Okay. So let's get started. Last time around, you all split your attention. We've already mentioned it. Bev, Marie, Shima, you all returned to UCLA. Pastor Wood, Patrick, you headed over to Samson Trammell's home in Pasadena. At UCLA, you started off by going to the history department. You talked with Hamish McDonegan, and he was very cagey about that lot of books that he purchased from the Echeverria estate. Ultimately, though, he did hand them over, but he did secure some financial support and promise for additional.
Sugar Mama Bev again.
From Bev. For now, you're throwing cash around. You're gonna run out of it at some
She's
point.
She's gotta chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Elsewhere, we saw how Marie met with an art student by the name of Dudley Smith, who was taking photos of raindrops falling onto the pond. You bonded with him over some art, some beauty, and what I like to call a burgeoning artistic vernacular, as you talked about brain cameras and stuff. It was pretty great. He agreed to develop your film, and he even agreed not to avoid. He even agreed to avoid looking at the results. Once developed, you're able to confirm they're very much like the photos from the safe deposit box, just real sorts of horrific debauchery, like sexual acts that were in no way like titillating or satisfying to look at. But you did keep it from him. Other things that you all did. These are all of the artists from that San Pedro artist co-op. Later, however, Marie, bad stuff happened. As you were trying to secure the help of a chemist to analyze the nectar sample, you drew the ire of faculty and staff, and you got removed by campus security. You got escorted out of the building, off campus, because you were just being a nuisance. But Bev and Shima were able to acquire the help of Dr. Elizabeth Granley. Granley and she and Bev worked together, and the two of you discovered some things about nectar. The examination suggested that it was not like the sample wasn't really similar to a known biological or chemical compound, and that Dr. Granley even posited that it might even be alive? ? And then she wasn't really sure about the classification. So should it be animal, should it be plant, should it be fungus, or something else entirely? So you got very invigorated suddenly, Beverly, and you really, really think that if you just keep looking, you just keep studying this thing,
I'll find the answer.
You're going to find some answers. Not just any answers that can change everything. So Shima cautiously left the room under the pretense of going to get like refreshments or something like that. Meanwhile, over at Trammell's mansion, we saw Pastor Wood, we saw Patrick Price. You knocked on the door, and you met a very severe-looking man who denied you entry into the house and into an audience with Samson Trammell himself. You also noticed that there were groups of armed men that were lingering all over the place on the grounds and near a carriage house that at one point there were like these various looking desperate folk that were getting escorted through into the side entrance. One of whom you might have recognized because he was wearing like dark priestly garb. What else happened? So you left those grounds at that point, kind of afraid a little bit, and you went next door. And that's where you spoke with a man by the name of Brooker, a gardener for one of the neighbors, and he told you some very disturbing tales. He told you that one time he caught Samson Trammell spilling his seed on some of the ground between both of the homes, and then later he heard some hissing sounds. And he thought it might have been a stray animal, but when he went to kind of look into it some more, he found a gnarled, twisting, disgusting mouth in the earth that was like spitting and gnashing all about. So terrified, he threw this cross down into the mouth, and then over time or something like that, it calcified. He took the two of you to it, showed you the calcified mouth, and it was surrounded by this lush growth of moss and some flowers, etc. And I think Pastor Wood started digging it up and brought it back to the car, whereas Patrick tried to get a couple more eyes on the mansion, and that's when he spied a man on the second floor balcony, naked except for a very loose robe, and he was freely and furiously masturbating. And that is basically where we ended. So we're going to pick up. It's late afternoon, evening time. It's not quite dark, but we're approaching it. So it's, again, think of it like a 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And there is an overcast. So there's certainly some level of darkness kind of here and there. And there's been sprinkles of rain, little drizzling of rain here and there. We are going to zoom in as Pastor Wood and Patrick Price are still over in the neighborhood, as Bev is still in the lab, as Shima has just stepped out of the lab. We're going to focus in on Marie. Marie, we see being escorted across the campus of UCLA. Rain's falling on you. The man has like a firm grasp of your bicep. He is in a uniform of some kind, some sort of security or kind of police garb. And he hasn't really said much to you other than trying to figure out, where your car actually, like, where are you parked? And eventually you kind of get over and you can see the car that you've rented. You can see the parking lot. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll, Murray.
I would love to.
Would you?
I would. 60 under 67.
You notice about a couple rows away from where you parked, there is a police cruiser. And you see the door open up, and you can see two men in police gear, police clothing, walk up, and you can hear one of them kind of hold a hand up, like, "Excuse me there, fella." And this campus security guy stops, kind of turns and looks over to them, and he's like, "Can I help you?" "I think we can go ahead and take her off your hands if you don't mind. She matches the description of someone we've been looking for. We got an APB out on. Yeah, looks good." And then he kind of like just goes through your look, etc., etc. What do you got her in for? And I go, she was just kind of just being a little bit of a nuisance, kind of interfering with kind of police business. Yeah, we heard about that here and there. She likes to do that kind of thing, She likes to just show up in places where she's not wanted, pokes her nose around. She's not the only one who does it, too. There's a whole group of them. But don't worry, pal. We'll take care of it for you. The boys in blue are here. That guy's, like, hesitating, and he's like, "Well, all right, if that's what you think."
Do you work with them? You don't work for them, do you?
No, I work for the University of California, Los Angeles. Anyhow, well, here you go. I guess you can take and it's like kind of looking, and they have badges. Everything looks on the up and up. It's like, that's great. Hey, you have a good day there. You have a good rest of your day. You better get out from under. We're about to get a downpour here. We don't want to get all wet up in here, right? Now, come with me, ma'am. Come with me, man. No more you harassing good folk. Not at all. And like they just exchange you like you're a piece of like a box. They just grab, one of them grabs hold of your bicep, then the other one grabs hold of your other bicep, and Marie is being escorted in the direction of this police cruiser. And you just hear them mumbling under their breath. You just couldn't get the hell out, could you? You just had to keep poking and prodding and poking. Well, I guess your time's coming to an end. And one of them reaches down, opens up the door, the back of their cruiser, and they just kind of throw you into the back. And you go, thump, thump. And it's got one of those like grates that sort of separate front and back, and then you hear the lock of the door, and you're in the back of a police cruiser.
Oh. I'm trying to think quickly if there's something small on me that I might try to drop on my way here, like kind of in the like right before the exchange.
Yeah, what do you think you might be carrying on you?
So if I can make this up on the spot, can I say that she has like a kind of a small like bracelet or something that maybe either Bev or Shima has complimented her on? So it's been kind of a point of conversation with them, that sort of as she, kind of is still in one arm kind of grabbed by the campus security, that she'll just kind of like, as she's kind of holding her hands together, just kind of reach up, kind of undo the clasp and just kind of drop it behind her while they're bantering in their kind of law enforcement kind of way, that like something that maybe just perhaps Bev and Shima might see.
Go ahead and give us a sleight of hand roll to see if you can do that without them catching. These are cops, so let's see if they notice this.
Yep. I'm going to take a couple of boosts from the audience to get this to a 30 that I'm rolling.
Okay.
So it's not a particularly good chance here with this one.
Sure.
Nope, that's a 94.
Okay.
That's a pretty good idea, though.
So this you drop this bracelet. And I didn't roll well, but I rolled better than that. So they they see the bracelet fall. Yeah, tricky lady, huh? I believe you dropped this, madam. And he kind of reaches down, picks it up, and he's like,
Oh dear, what a family heirloom. I would have just been heartbroken if I had lost that. I'm so glad that you found that for me.
And he like opens up his like this kind of double-breasted shirt and just tucks it into his pocket. Oh, my wife's gonna love it. Thank you very much. Thank you We'll take good care of it for you. Don't worry. And then they proceed to put you into the car.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's cut back then to the laboratory, where we see Dr. Bev, we see Elizabeth Granley, we see the two of them. They've been probably studying this. It's probably there's probably like maybe about 45 minutes to an hour initial study. And we were trying to just basically do some classification. Shima was there for most of that and then kind of just left a few minutes ago. Marie, last you saw Marie was about an hour ago, Bev, in terms of the timeline. But at this point, you're not really thinking about them anymore, to be honest. Like, you're pretty focused. And so is the doctor, right? The two of you are just kind of furiously going through things. You're setting up new samples. She is like coming back from her office carrying all sorts of reference books and just dropping them right there on this big old table and like kind of divvies them out almost like she's handing out cards. And she's like, okay, and then you have to look at this, and then maybe look at this, and then she's just kind of giving all these instructions in terms of like what we should look for and what we should find and how this is connected to this. And it says, well, this almost has kind of an aquatic. But then again, this almost kind of look kind of fungal in some ways. Don't you think? And
yes.
And I need you to roll a sand test.
Okay, another one? Goddamn.
Yep. It's gonna get ugly here, actually. It's gonna get it's probably good. It's gonna get a little rough for a while for you. Okay.
80. Fail.
All right. Go ahead and take 3 points of sand loss.
Holy shit.
As you don't even really notice that another 45 minutes pass as the two of you are just taking turns looking at samples in the microscope, doing various testing of a sample of nectar with some other types of solutions, going through some of these books, flipping through them page after page after page, testing this, testing that. And then you come and it's well, that was very interesting, but I still think we can find more. There are some stronger equipment that we could in the other laboratory. And she, it's I think the better of the laboratories is probably open. We can, if we take our stuff there, we can probably use more equipment. I don't think anyone's in that laboratory. What say you, Dr. Key?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
She starts helping pack stuff up, and in her frantic research frenzy, I don't even think Shima's really on the mind, so she doesn't even think to leave a note of where she's going. She's just packing up and going.
Okay. And so
I regret it Ashley, but Bev, yeah.
I appreciate it. It's awesome. It's fantastic. So you two academics are starting to
we got shit to do.
You're almost your mania is kind of bouncing off each other in some degree, right? Because she gets very excited and you get very excited and she gets very excited and the two of you disappear. Let's check in with Shima. Shima, a little while ago, you left the room. Well, so at this point, by the time you left the room, Marie had already been gone for at least 45 minutes. And Bev hasn't really kind of continued that second spot. Well, where would Shima, what would she have done next? What do you think?
She has no. She's gonna leave the science building and kind of look around, and seeing that she doesn't see Marie, she's gonna very worriedly go over to the one place she knows, which is the athletics building, and look for Coach Exley.
Give me a luck test. Yeah. Let's see how long it takes you, or if you even find him.
Yeah.
Okay.
80 under 89.
It doesn't take you all that long to find him. By the time you get over there, you look around, you can see that there are various athletes in sports that are working out or practicing or performing in different places. You ask a person or two, they kind of point you in a direction, maybe not. But eventually you do find him. He has an office in this kind of athletic arena area. And when you arrive, he is dressed in his UCLA garb. So it's still, it's 1936. So it's not like he's wearing shorts and a tank or anything like that. But he still is dressed far more casually than the last time you saw him when you went on the Midnight Duchess. And he's like, Shima, my darling, what are you doing here? It's a pleasure to see you. Oh, my goodness. Oh my goodness!
And she looks incredibly worried. There's.
Oh dear.
Shima, actually, do you have a minute?
Well, of course. Come on in. He gets up and he's kind of getting all awkwardly, like gentlemanly. He's and he's picking stuff up off his chair. It's just old random towels and stuff. He's like, sit down there. Sit down. Now, what seems to be
probably never looked smaller to him than she does in this moment, because she was incredibly worried. We were following up on some stuff with the research, and then Marie got arrested, and I don't know where they took her, and then Dr. Kia got all caught up doing stuff, and she was mean to me, and she's never mean to me. And I don't know what to do. And she's on the verge of tears.
Okay. Shima, it's gonna be just fine. Don't worry about it at all. Now, Marie got arrested. Is that what you said?
But a campus cop, police person. I don't know where they took her.
Tall man, had a kind of a military haircut.
Yes.
I know, Peter. That's not a problem at all. Come on. We'll get this all sorted out here now. That's fine. He comes and he uses the facilities every weekend. It's fine. We'll be fine. It's all right. And he's like, now, come on. I'll walk you over there. We'll get this all squared away and sorted out. Don't you worry about it. And so he like he picks you up. He like kind
Where
of
did she let you
offers.
go?
He kind of offers an arm, but he's like, "Do I offer it?" Like you can see, he's very awkward at this point. Like he's trying to do the best, but at the same time, like he's like, "I'm not used to women crying around me." So as you're walking, the rain is starting to come down even more. It's even heavier, and so they're kind of hustling. Now, Shima, what was this you said about Bev?
She got all caught up looking into this thing, and she's realizing that maybe she shouldn't say anything about Nectar. She was helping me with some research, and she got really caught up with the research. I guess I don't know. I've never seen her like that. She was with Dr. Granley. I don't know if you know Dr. Granley.
I can't say I do. I'm afraid to say. I do know plenty of folk on the campus, but I'm still... Well, why don't we just do one thing at a time? All right, let's go ahead and take care of what happened with Marie, see if we can sort that out, and then we'll go inquire about what's happening with Beth.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Oh, it's no problem.
She's fully crying.
Shima, darling, I've told you more than once. My name is Ed, and that is what you're going to call me. You're going to call me Ed. We're friends now, you see? And so...
Thank you, Ed.
Oh, of course. And he goes in, and he takes you guys over to, like, some kind of, like, annex of the administration building that is basically like a campus security office for the equivalent of 1936. And you go inside, and you can see there's kind of two sort of rent-a-cop kind of looking guys. They have the uniforms. The same guy you saw take Marie away. And it's just an office. Nothing more than that. It's just a basic office. It looks like they have, map of the campus, a couple filing cabinets here and there, some policies, procedures, etc. And he comes in and he's like, "Oh, Pete, you old fool. What are you doing causing my friend here such distress?" And he's like, What are you talking about, Coach? I didn't do nothing. Well, my dear friend Shima, right here. This is Shima. This is Pete. This is Shima. And she says that you arrested a friend of hers. Oh, okay. Yeah, the busybody over at the chemistry building. Yeah, she, we didn't arrest her. We don't have like a jail cell or anything. It's just, she was causing some problems. She was asking all sorts of questions. She was getting in the way of some of the faculty and stay. It's a college campus. There's classes going on and there's research, and she was just kind of getting in the way. So I just escorted her off campus. Well, see, now there you go, Shima. See, she's fine. She's not arrested. She's just off campus. Maybe she's back in your vehicle. Maybe she went back to the hotel. Maybe she's just getting a drink somewhere.
Oh, can I just go look at the vehicle then, Mr. Pete?
Well, actually, she's probably not going to be there. A couple cops showed up. I'm afraid to say that your friend apparently was wanted on some other business, and so they took her. And yeah. Now, Pete, you say some actual cops came over now, and Pete, everyone tell you
So
bury
she
the lead
was
bit.
arrested?
Well, I mean, I didn't really hear them go through the whole process or nothing. And you said I arrested, and I didn't arrest anyone. I just escorted her away, and then hey, I'm not, and they did what they did. All right, Noel. Okay, well, now don't worry. It's fine. He kind of just pats you on your hand. Okay, well, did you get like a name of the officers, a precinct, or nothing like that? And Pete's like, no, that would have been a good idea. Yeah, no, we didn't. Okay, well, that's just wonderful. Okay, do you know what like precinct actually covers UCLA? And he kind of they kind of go through some files and they rumble off a number or whatever it is. He's like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take care of Bev first. We're gonna get her in a car, and then we're gonna go find Marie. How about that, right? Kind of just pat you again. Okay, so we see you once more leave. Rain is now even heavier as you come back out. You're still kind of getting pelted, and you start walking over to the chemistry building. We're gonna cut. Pastor Wood, Patrick Price. I'm gonna say you guys are in the driveway. Brooker, the gardener's where he was working. Pastor, you have already put the calcified mouth in the trunk. Patrick, you have just returned from spying Trammel. It is late afternoon. There is a little bit of rain. There's some overcast. It's not fully dark yet. What's your plan?
Well, Patrick, I gotta say, I really would like to see the inside of Mr. Trammel's house there.
Well, me too. It looks like Trammel's exerting himself on the balcony.
I'm sorry, what?
Just like Brooker told us.
Oh dear. Well, safe to say he has partaken in some of that nectar. Maybe we wait a couple hours for the party to die down. Maybe they're a little more sluggish then. We've
got a storm coming too. Maybe that'll help.
Sounds like a plan.
So it looks like we're going to poke at the hornet's hive we got here.
Okay. So you guys wanted to wait for a little bit? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I'd like to wait a moment to see if the storm picks up and some of the guards sort of either head inside, leave the cars unattended, something I'm going to break into.
Get a little bit darker.
Are you guys going to then try to position yourselves in a manner that you can kind of surveil the place? Is that the idea?
I think we shouldn't push our luck. What do you think there, Patrick? I would say we park the car distance away and walk it back. What do you think?
That's fine as long as it's nearby running distance.
Yeah.
Get a quick getaway if needed.
Not necessarily within sight, because they've got a lot of guards that are probably looking for us since we just showed up.
Okay. So, car drives away. You find some place to park it off the side of the road. Maybe hide it slightly in some brush if you can. There's still plenty of places that aren't fully developed, so we'll say you can find a lot that's not yet developed. And then you walk back. The rain has picked up a bit. It's still not quite nighttime, so there's still some light coming through the darker clouds overhead. But you are getting kind of wet as you walk back. Now, when you get back on foot, then, are you looking to position yourselves in a manner that you can still see what's going on at the mansion?
Yeah, ideally, I'd like to see the front yard, be able to see who's out and about.
Okay. Would we be able to see the door where the partiers were ushered in through from like the front yard?
You can do whatever you like. You tell me what your ideal scenario is. From the street, if you were just looking at it from the street, you would be on what's called Hyacinth Street, and you would be able to basically see there's like a turnaround, there's the main house, and then there's a carriage house. You can kind of all see those things in straight order, which doesn't mean that you have to stay on the street. You certainly could go onto the grounds. So if there is something you're particularly trying to keep an eye on, just let me know and we'll do some rolls and see how it goes.
Patrick, what do you think about trying to see an angle where we can see the front door and the door where the drug users were brought in and out of? Because remember, they were ushered in by security.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Cool. So I think venturing on the grounds would be fine as long as we can stay out of sight. Like, we wouldn't want to cross any open grass or anything.
What are your stealth scores?
Mine is 60.
60.
Mine is 79.
All right, Patrick, you're the worst stealth score. Give us a stealth test. And then spot hidden wise, I know that Pastor, you got an 88, and then Patrick, you've got a 47. So let's have Pastor then with the better spot hidden. You can roll spot hidden.
Roll a 66 on the stealth. I'll spend 6 luck to make it success for me.
Okay. Do you want you're rolling it for the group. You're rolling it for both you and Pastor Wood. Don't forget that you can also, I'm not saying you have to do this, but stealth tests are essentially going to be contested by spot hidden and listen and that kind of stuff. So if you wanted to try to up that to a higher tier, you could also spend 36 luck to get that to a hard success. You don't have to. I'm just giving you the option.
I feel like it's a good decision to do so. I'll make it a hard.
Okay.
Spend 36.
All right. So you have a hard success for your stealth. And then what do you have, Pastor Wood, for...
I rolled a 50, and my spot hidden's 88, so I'm going to spend the 6 luck, I think it is, to turn that into a hard success as well.
Okay. So a hard success on both of them. Okay. All right, let me roll a few things over here. Okay. So you're trying to still see kind of that entrance where you last saw them escorting some of those guards, those guys with the guns and such that were underneath their coats. They were all well dressed, every one of them. Even the guy at the door, like they were all impeccably dressed. They look extremely professional, every single one of them. None of them looked like they were, some kind of. They didn't dress the part of kind of like a low life criminal. All of them. Most that you've seen. You're seeing a lot of like Hispanic workers here and there come and go, but you also see like a handful of Caucasian folk coming in. But you do see a fairly heavy like Hispanic population as you're looking around, and as you're watching, as the two of you will say, you find a set of shrubberies or a couple bushes and stuff to kind of duck down in. That still managed to keep an eye on the back of the carriage house and the back of the house itself. You notice a few things. Okay. You first notice that there is a man that is on the second floor. It's not the same man that you saw, Patrick, but you can see there's like a man who comes out, and it looks much like one of those guards that you saw down on the ground. He kind of looks, stares around as if he's kind of giving like a really good glimpse. You see his eyes go over where you two are hidden, slows for a second, and then kind of continues. And you get the sense that at the very least, that lookout up on the second floor didn't see you. And then he turns back around and goes inside the building once more. The second thing you notice is that a car has pulled up, and you can see coming out of the car appears to be another one of these, these guards, these mercenaries or such that are working here, and they come around to the other side of the car. They open up a door, and you see a couple folk come out. You can see they're kind of pawing off each other. Even once or twice they reach up and they kind of grab and kind of pawn on the guard, who just ignores it. He seems so stoic and is not like uninterested completely. But the two of them are kind of fawning off each other, and they get escorted into that one entrance. And then you notice a cop car show up, pulls up next to the carriage house. You see one of those guards comes out, exchanges a few words. Either one of you can roll a listen test, but I can tell you right now that a normal success isn't going to be enough to hear the exchange. You're too far away, but a hard or extreme might be able to glean something of it. So if either of you wanted to roll listen, you can.
I've got 50. Listen. Go ahead.
You can both do it. I don't mind if you both do it.
Oof, 88.
83.
Okay. So we'll say that you're too far away really to hear anything, but you do see the vehicle just sort of idles there for a minute. One of the guy who did the exchange that came up to the window goes to the main house, comes back, and you can see that the man who answered the door when you knocked on the door of the main house is now with him. He goes around to the driver's side of the vehicle, and I'll say with your spot hidden, you can see he pulls out what looks like an envelope of some kind, and he hands it over to the cop that's driving. And then the guard opens up the back of the door, and you see a woman get pulled out. She's got some kind of hood over her head. But I will say, because you got a hard success in your spot hidden, Pastor Wood, that clothes look a lot like Marie's and what she was wearing when you departed that morning.
Patrick, you recognize her? Look at the way she's walking.
Looks familiar.
That's Miss Wynn.
They got her already.
Which means that there may be concern about the other members of our investigative party. But right now we know that she's right there. We need to get her out.
When the time comes, we'll get her.
Time might come pretty damn quick.
It's
Patrick's in no rush. Like, when the time comes.
stay for a moment, sis. A lot of heat going on.
Yeah, I don't want to like rush right now to try and get her out, but start looking for avenues to make it to the house relatively quickly.
Okay. So just to sort of refresh your memory, there's basically 4 standard entrances. I'm not saying that you can't like try to crawl through a window or something like that, but you can see there's the grand front entrance that you and Patrick already knocked on, but you know that even though you've seen next to no activity coming in and out, it doesn't seem like that is the active way people come in and out of the building. There's like no concealment whatsoever. Like you would be seen very easily from multiple directions. There's the rear entrance to the patio, which is what you've kind of been eyeing on. That's where they've been kind of getting let in and out, some of these folks. But that one does seem to be very active, and people come and go. You saw who you assumed to be Marie. You saw the other 2 like fawning people, and you've seen some of these other guards come and go. There's a section over by like the conservatory, if you recall. There's like these glass walls. There's not a ton of traffic, but it is not that far away from the patio, so you'd have to be very, very careful. But it doesn't look like that's being used very frequently. It does seem to have some obscured sightlines. It just, if you make too much noise, someone might be able to hear it from the patio entrance. And then there's the servants' entrance that you think over is more than likely by the kitchen, but it does seem like that is also very active. You haven't seen any guards. You haven't seen that man who answered the door coming or going from it, but you've seen plenty of servants coming and going, like dumping out water. Some of them kind of bringing in clothes that they had hung up on a clothesline before the rain came, that kind of stuff. But so you do see it's active. So those are the 4 main entrances. There's plenty of like windows and balconies as well if you wanted to try something a little bit different. So why don't you guys think about that, and let's cut back to UCLA. We see Shima and we see Ed, and we see them inside the lab where you last left Beverly. Now, darling, I know you said that Beverly was a bit obsessed with this, but I must admit I'm a bit concerned. And when you look around, the place is in shambles. It's not clean. Like there's like crumpled up pieces of paper, broken glass, right? It just looks like a whirlwind has kind of gone through here in some way. And you see no sign of Bev. What do you want to do, Shima?
Just to be clear, like it didn't look like this when she first showed up. Like this happened over the time that they were there, and potentially after she left as well.
I would say you are familiar enough probably with Bev's process that she's probably not this sloppy in her work.
Yeah.
And while it doesn't look like, it doesn't look like there's not like blood or anything anywhere, but it does certainly look like someone is being very lax with some of
Manic.
their yeah, because you can see it just looks like someone knocked over what looks like a petri dish. Some books have like kind of fallen over. Some of them have been left open, and you can see the spines are already starting to rip away. So it just looks like negligence to a degree that doesn't seem consistent with Bev.
Yeah. So she kind of looks around and sort of nods, agreeing with Ed, and say, "But you couldn't. I don't know where she went. Will you get in trouble if I call for her?"
Well, why don't we just go and see if we can ask the folks down there at the desk if they maybe they saw something. Maybe just do something that simple. It's okay. It's all right. She's gonna be fine. Okay. It's gonna be fine. And you can tell like he's like sweating at this point. You're not sure if it's sweat or if it's the rain, but he's like, you can tell that he is trying to keep it together. But every now and then his voice kind of cracks. but like you go up and like there's
My converse is not keeping it together.
Yeah. There's like you overhear this conversation between like him and one of the department secretaries, and like they're going over, here and there. Maybe you're standing off to the side, maybe you're up there, whatever it is you want to be. And he comes back, well, see, simple solutions, darling. It's totally fine. Everything's absolutely fine. Now, she and her colleague, I guess that's the appropriate term. Not they just moved to a different lab. Is all that's it. That's all it is. See, they're apparently
did
there's
you find out which one?
Well, apparently it's right upstairs, and it has far more these gadgets and gizmos and such that the science folk like to use. Apparently,
Will you come with me so I can look?
Darling, of course I will. Shima, come on now, let's go. And so the two of you go up the stairs. You kind of hear like a shriek or two coming from this double set of doors up ahead. And when you push open the doors, you can see that there is Beverly. There is Dr. Granley. The two of them, their hair has frizzed out here and there. You can see that they are moving around the room with a pretty quick speed. And they're communicating with one another, but they're talking like extremely fast, but they seem to know exactly what they're saying. So Bev, when you got into the room, as we slowly wind it back, you get into the room and you can see that all around are all these extra, like really impressive looking machinery, right? Bigger, more powerful microscopes, all these rows and rows of various different solutions and different flash beakers. There's a whole bookcase on one wall that has all manner of like these chemical chemistry books and such. And you can see that Dr. Granley just gets right down to business, and she starts ordering you around. Get this, get that, bring that over here, get this, get that. What are you doing as you come in here, Bev? What do you think? How does it look? What does Bev in a manic state kind of look like?
So Bev is normally very well put together, right? She has discarded her jacket. Her shirt's been unbuttoned a little bit, so it's a little more risque than average. And because she's hot, she's sweating, her hair's frizzed to high heavens. And she's got like this big box of stuff that she just kind of carelessly drops. And she grabs what we need, like the books, but the other stuff, like the actual science stuff, she goes and she starts just bringing things over. And it's been a while since she's been in more of like the assistant position, but she doesn't care. She's willing to defer and collaborate to get to these answers. And so she's just going through whatever we need to. And but normally it's like a contained process where she's taking notes and she's documenting. She's not documenting anymore. She's got like these frantic, crazy notes, kind of like the notebook that we found where it had all those creepy drawings and stuff, except it's just Henslow's note. Yeah, except it's not drawings or anything, but there's notes and maybe like a graph, and it's just frantic and it doesn't make any sense. She's not writing in anything in like an appropriate order that she normally would do. Like afterwards, she'd have to take time to translate this.
And all you really hear is just these commands, like these orders, and like this, like these instructions, bouncing ideas off from Dr. Granley. You don't hear the sounds of the doors opening and Shima and Ed walking in. You don't hear the sounds of them kind of calling out to you initially, right? It's just sort of this vague background noise, this buzzing that happens here and there. And so Shima, here you are, and like maybe you've shouted out her name, maybe Ed has as well. Maybe he's tried to intersperse himself and like has been just summarily rebuffed, like stiff-armed in some way. What do you do, Shima?
It takes a minute or two for her to like watch Dr. Key moving somatically and she takes the time to sort of like summon up the courage to actually do something physical. And she's gonna go over and grab Dr. Key by the shoulders and try and hold her in place and just stop.
Okay.
Just physically try to stop her.
Let's do a brawl test. Do a melee brawl. You don't have to do damage or anything, but just give it a melee
Ashley,
brawl.
if you're okay with
Oh,
this.
girl, do what you want.
Okay.
What do I do to combat this?
So it's up to you. Do you think Bev is the type of person who would just sort of like shove off and try to dodge, or would she just start slapping back? You have control of your characters. Like you're not in like a temp insanity state or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just like you are kind of being caught between a drive, but also some of the effects of actually studying this thing. So like that's kind of what's happening here.
That's what I thought.
You're spiraling in this weird way. But you still have like control, so you can still describe how your character reacts to things.
80 under 85.
She would try to like dodge it.
Okay, so roll a dodge test then.
She's not great at this, but she would
It's okay.
try. 51.
So you try to like just duck underneath, and you're unable to, and you just feel yourself kind of get.
Shima, what are you doing?
Dr. Key, do
you not understand the process that you were interrupting here? We're on the verge of a breakthrough of figuring out what this is.
He's been arrested.
How is that my problem? I'm the doctor here. I'm doing my job. She should have been better at what she does and not get caught.
No, not by the campus security, by the real police.
What? I
She
need
looks
to
pleadingly over her head, like
Yeah, and it's just like now, darling. I know that I might not fully understand your academic inclinations, but I must say that this is a bit. Well, the state you are in, and this laboratory is in, and the one that you all apparently were in prior to this is, well, it's a bit alarming, darling. And I am all for you finding your truth and living your life, but this is, well, Shima's very concerned, as you can see.
And having the two of them, because will kind of cause her, like, she takes a moment to like take a breath, like, you know. Can you please let go of me?
Oh, okay.
And she will walk away and continue to work on things.
Okay, so
unless you intercede one more time, and then she'd probably give up at that point. But
Dr. Key, I wouldn't have come if I thought I could do this without you.
Oh, you're pulling on her heartstrings. Okay.
So I would like Shima to please roll. I know that you probably don't have this skill, but I still think it's what you need to use here. Give me a psychoanalysis roll. You can, however, take a bonus die because I'll say that Ed is assisting you and he is sort of reaching out as well. I know that you have a 1 in it, but
I do.
We do have luck in the game, so it is what it is. Oh my gosh, you rolled a 6?
Okay, I will happily spend 5 luck.
And so,
wow,
holy shit!
I think what you just said actually makes sense. Like, there's something that like cracks through, right? Like it just like just the sort of tone, the way she says it. So, what does it look like as you start to actually hear the concern now in Shima's voice, and like how like you can still feel this dull pull and intrigue, but like now that's fading a bit to the back, and Shima's voice is getting louder and kind of impacting you more. What does that feel like?
Can I make a suggestion, or just to add to what you might have, Ashley?
What?
Like the look on Shima's face, it's one you've seen before, and it's one you've seen when someone else says something really kind of devastating about like who she is and her side. Like you are making her feel the way that you generally protect her from.
And I think that's the moment where she turns and she finally looks at you, because she hasn't been looking at you, and she turns and she sees your face and your tears, and she turns and she sees Ed behind you looking very concerned. And she just, oh, darling. And she says this to Ed, and then she also turns and she says this to you, and she cups your cheek as she hurriedly pulls like a handkerchief out and she dries your cheeks for you. I shouldn't have yelled. I'm so I don't know. I've never I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your work. I know how important your work is.
Women should collaborate. I should have never raised my voice to you. I've never done that before. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. And at this point,
I know you would never. I know you would never. And then she kind of like a rap stocking, very tight and uncomfortable.
Oh, and she will hug you back fiercely, like, because she's still kind of alarmed now that she's thinking back on her actions of just how she treated you and how it didn't even cross her mind as that's, terrible behavior. Like, the pursuit of knowledge kind of made her a terrible person. And she'll step back from the hug and quickly start to gather our things. And she's gonna turn to the other professor. And is she still rolling?
Yeah, and not only that, but she is like screaming at you all.
Get out! If you're not going to help, I don't need you. Get out of my laboratory right this instant.
And she is like screaming. And Ed's got his hands like, darling, it is your laboratory. I fully understand. I very much dislike when people who are not used to getting on the wrestling mat jump on that wrestling mat. Ladies, I think we might want to leave this woman to her business now.
We do need our sample back. Do I notice anything about her? Because she was very like lactose intolerant when we first met. Is that what's
I don't think
continuing?
That's a visual thing. I don't think you can visually observe.
She was tooty, okay? She was toot.
Yeah. No, I mean she's in a manic state. Like I want to stress, like you are still feeling the pull of this. Like this has not gone away. In fact, you are going to need to roll another sand test for this, by the way.
Got it.
And so like it's not like everything is just suddenly changed and everything's roses and whatnot. But you definitely have managed to a degree, like break the kind of break that sort of spiral that you were in, or at least Shima was able to. Even with a success, take 1 point of sand loss as you're kind of realizing as you're looking, this woman is going to figure out the truth and you're not. Like she's going to do it and not you. But Shima's like got her arm around you or whatever it might be. You have full control. You have full control to go with Shima.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
I'm
like, this is what's
like,
in the back of your head, right?
What would Dev do realistically?
Shima is walking you out.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't forget my notes. I'll have to review those later. We will collaborate. I will call you. Can I have your number?
Get out! Too much noise.
We can get it downstairs. Ed knows the administrator.
And Beverly is again kind of like aggressively swearing under her breath as she instructs, Ed to grab her box of books that we had. And then she just kind of grabs her handful of like notes and things that she did have, and she doesn't give them to you. She kind of holds them, and she puts her jacket on, and she's like shoving them into like her side, and she's holding them, like wrapping it shut so that they won't get wet when we go outside. We'll have to get another sample. I'm going to need another sample so I can continue to review this. You do realize this, right? And then I'm sorry, but we need another one. And
certainly,
is there any?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she leaves. She doesn't clean anything else up.
And so we'll say the three of you, Ed and Toe, he's carrying the box like you asked him to, and the three of you.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
Donald, I'm more than happy to oblige. No problem at all. No problem at all. And we see as the three of you leave, maybe Bev, like one last glance over your shoulder, will fade out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And as we fade up, we feel as a hood is coming off Marie's head. Marie, you feel you've heard the sounds of speaking. You've felt some rain. You've been in and out of a car. You haven't been like physically abused, but you've definitely like they've grabbed you by the arm. They're not like letting you go. Like you're being somewhat manhandled, but it's not like you've been like beaten up or anything like that. But you are now, you realize, bound, and you're sitting on what appears to be some kind of velvet, cushy chair. And when you look around, you can see that it's I would say the room itself that you're in has a very foul odor to it. As you shift and move a little bit, the floorboards creak. You can tell that there's like that foul kind of dusty smell, but there's also like mixing with this perfume, and it just doesn't quite fully cover it. You can see that there are a handful of the chairs like you were in that are pressed into corners. You see that in one corner there is a heavily beaten man that is bound. He is dressed in what looks like, or what once was, a very nice looking, professional looking suit. However, you do not recognize him. Now, the next thing you notice is that there is like these heavy velvet curtains that are kind of piled up in one corner. Make a spot hidden.
Okay. That is a 17 under 67.
You notice that it's moving. A little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit shifting. And at one point you see an arm kind of drop out from under it. And as it shifts and turns, you realize there's a tangle of maybe 4 or 5 different bodies underneath there, all probably naked from what you can see. And they're all just kind of sleeping, you think, maybe, underneath this this big velvet curtain. You hear the sounds of rain, but there's like music underneath it somewhere, but can't quite make it out. If you would like to make a listen roll, maybe you are able to place it. But
right,
mostly it's just the pattering of the rain. No, you're crushing it.
Wow, 10 under 56.
You hear a very distant sound of a classical, like Mexican guitar and a woman's voice. It's not like it's playing in the room next over. It's the type of feeling you get sometimes when music is being played elsewhere and it's just sort of funneling through vents and things. It doesn't, so it's got this far away feel to it, but you can hear it going. What would you like to do?
So, is there anyone actively in this room watching me, making sure that I'm not trying to sort of like slip out of my bindings? Like I saw that there was like the mass of people and then the guy in the suit in the corner.
Let's see. No, there is a closed door. Like right in, like you can see there's like, actually I would say there's there's 2 closed doors. One is kind of like off to your right on the same wall that your chair is against, and one is like on a perpendicular wall to your left. There also appears to be kind of an open hallway a little bit further that you can't see down. Like it's like it disappears behind a bend, and so you can't tell if there might be someone down there or someone behind one of these doors. But there's no one actively in the room except for the bloody, beaten man across from you and the pile of, let's just call them revelers. What would you like to do?
I mean, if no one is actively watching her, she is going to see if she can kind of crane her neck to see sort of like what she's bound with. And she's going to, kind of do all of the, trying to twist her wrists and, kind of do what she can to see if she can loosen her bindings at all.
Okay. I would say let's do like it's not really sleight of hand because you're not so much worried about like somebody not seeing you. So we can do like maybe just like a dex times 5 or a dex, I should say. Sorry, it's not Delta Green.
She's got good dex. I was afraid you were going to say strength, but dex works.
I'm just thinking about like you trying to like
that.
Oh, what'd you roll?
No, 92 over 70.
You can spend 22 luck to pass if you like. You can still do that with your attribute tests.
Love to spend 22 luck to pass. That brings me down to 35.
Okay. So you're able to, after a little bit of maneuvering, slide one of your arms free from what is definitely their ropes. Like they're small ropes, but they weren't like super tightly and cruelly bound, but they were bound tight enough. But you're able to get one hand free, and then once you get that one free, you're able to kind of wiggle the second one free. Your legs are also around your ankles are kind of tied up, but you're able to kind of fiddle with that too. So
okay,
we'll say that takes you a couple minutes, but you're able to kind of get your arms, your hands, and your legs free. What would you do next?
She wants to slip out of this room. Like, this is where they left her. She wants to not be here when they come back to look for her. So she is putting her ear up to the door, to each of the 2 doors to see if it sounds like there's people right inside. And so she's got kind of the options of the hallway or those 2 doors. And so whichever one seems like there isn't anyone moving kind of right on the other side.
Okay. So we'll say that you're able to, as you slip free and you're and you're just trying to pick a way to go. You don't immediately notice anybody. One of those doors, as you open it up, looks to take you into what is likely supposed to be like a bedroom, like a guest room. And you're kind of in some kind of sitting room, like it's like a guest suite. And then you notice that the other door, when you peek it open, you can see that there's like a polished table. It's not too large or grandiose. You can see there's one overturned chair in here. And there's like this faint aroma of wine. It's like a small dining room.
So she's trying to think of which would be a room that someone would least likely to come in immediately. So a dining place seems more likely that someone would come back to than a guest bedroom. So she's going to head in the direction of the guest bedroom. Okay.
So you step off into the bedroom and you can see that there is like this, it's fairly dark in here. You can tell that the curtains themselves are they're covering the outer window. You can still hear the patter of rain. There is a bed here, but it's very musty and it looks kind of damp. There is a small closet, but when you kind of take a peek into it, maybe for a place to hide, you notice that there's really nothing in it. Like there's no clothes, no linens. It's just kind of an empty space. You do hear this kind of weird, almost like the clearing of a throat from somewhere.
She's going to move around the room to see if the sound gets louder or quieter as she moves around the room, the walls of the room and any other doors.
It's not a huge guest suite, so if you're just looking to try to locate, are you just trying to locate it? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Give me a spot hidden, we'll say.
96 over 67.
You cannot quite make out where it's at, but you hear.
Can I look under the bed
for a second? Let's cut for you for a second.
Sure.
let's jump over to Pastor Wood and Patrick Price. As you've been outside now for a little while longer, we'll say it's been maybe a half an hour since Marie has been brought inside. The rain hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't really gotten better. No more cars have come and gone. The cop car is left. The severe looking man that you met at the front door has returned inside. There are still some folks lingering here and there. You haven't seen a car come or go in about half an hour. It is almost dark, but not quite there. Still like the last little bit of evening left. What are you guys doing?
We decided to head to the conservatory.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna need a stealth test to move from your current hiding position and try to reach the conservatory. And I'm gonna want it from whoever got the lower stealth, which I believe was that Patrick.
Yeah, 95 this time. It's not good.
Okay. You want to spend some luck?
I have none.
Okay. You have none?
Well, I have some, but not enough to make it success.
Okay. So the two of you, you can also push, by the way. Don't forget, pushing is a thing in this game. You can push.
Please push.
If you fail, there will be consequences, but there's going to be consequences one way or the other. But
there's going to be consequences
but
anyway.
Pushing, the potential for even more dire consequences is higher, but there will be consequences for sure from a stealth test. Obviously, stealth is still going to be contested from the spotted.
Okay.
So it's your call.
You've got a 60,
option to
so
push, so yeah, I'm going to go for it.
Okay,
I believe in you.
Every roll's been failing, but this one won't.
That boy.
There we go.
there you go.
So what does it look like, Long, when you and Patrick and Pastor sneak out of their hiding spot, nearly get caught, but then and how do you kind of take a different tact or a different approach? What do you think you do?
Before we're caught, I sort of tackle Pastor Wood to the side so we're out of line of sight.
And you see a guy kind of turn around, huh? And he walks up a little bit to a bush, and he's kind of looking over, huh? And he's just kind of grunting a little bit the way guards do in Metal Gear Solid games. And he's looking. Must have been the wind. And then he turns around and starts walking back.
Okay, I just want to list a formal objection here that Patrick is the one that failed the roll, and then in the narrative, he's framing it as being my fault that we almost get caught. Just want a formal objection, but then we can move on.
Noted.
You guys should have you should have
It's
said
a
that you
group
found
stealth.
a giant. You should have said you found a giant cardboard box, and the two of you are just moving in a cardboard box towards the conservatory. Okay, so with that one guy turning around, you were able to reach the exterior of this conservatory. It's on the east side of the house. It's kind of jutting out a bit. More than likely, this is probably catch plenty of morning sun. When you get there, the exterior has some, there's some shrubberies and whatnot, and like you've seen elsewhere. There's definitely, they don't have a regular gardener. Stuff needs to be pruned a bit here. Nothing seems to be rotten or not growing. It just doesn't seem to be tidy. You get this very almost sweetly sour smell that seems to be wafting out from these plants. There is a small one of those fold windows that kind of flops open and back. It's open right now, and you can see water is kind of falling down into the conservatory itself. Now, when you go and reach the door, it is locked. So, what do you guys want to do?
They just leave the keys hanging around.
No, they do not just leave the keys.
I check under the mat.
You
Are there
check
any
under the
loose
mat.
stones?
There are some loose stones, but you do not find a key. No, you guys. Do any of you have locks?
Can
Either of you
pick
have
a lock.
locksmith?
Yeah, I do. So I'll attempt
give it a
to
roll.
break in.
This is how I got my
on top
nose
of the
punched
door
last
frame.
time.
Is it 28? So let's see what happens. 36. Oh, 63, actually. No good.
Okay, so it's taking you a little bit of time. and like you're struggling here and there, and you're struggling. You try, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. You once or twice hear the sounds of like people calling out, like calling out to each other. It's like, "Did you guys hear something?" And they're like, "No, no." Kind of people just kind of shouting to one another. And you like tuck down into the bushes. It's then as you two are like kind of hiding and waiting for like this pass of guards to try again. You hear and when you look down into like the deeper parts of this bush, there is like this kind of tumble of like thick, almost like very fibrous leaves. Like they're like thick palms, which are almost like poking into you. You see it's writhing. And you kind of have to like do a little double take. And you just see part of the frond just starts to open up. And you see this mouth about the size of like, half a watermelon. These teeth are ragged and dripping. There's way too many rows for a mouth. It doesn't even look human. You can see this tongue that just seems to go deeper down into the plant that it shouldn't. Like it's just defying the concepts of depth perception. And as the tongue kind of rolls out, there are these tinier, smaller mouths on either side of that tongue with these little sharp, razor sharp teeth. And right in the center of the tongue, his eye just starts to roll and loll around. And you both need to make a sand test.
Sitting at 44 sand.
6 under 56.
58 fail.
Okay. All right. Pastor, you passed, right?
Yes.
You can take 1 point of sand loss, as this is much worse than what you saw inside Savannah. And then for Patrick Price, you can take 4 points of sand. So how do you guys react? As both of you just lost sand, and there is now a mouth that is somehow manifested on the frond of a palm with this long, ragged tongue and these twisted, dripping teeth. It's right next to you, and you can see the tongue is like unfurling, and it's starting to slash out at you. How do you think the two of you react with 1 and 4 points sand loss at seeing this?
The devil is at work. And I imagine that I was behind Patrick because he was the one trying to pick the lock. So I just grab him by the collar and just pull him away. So like trying to get us both out of reach.
Okay. And then we'll say then the two of you tumble out of this bush into the open. Patrick, what's going through your mind as you saw this thing? Like you're like 4 points of sand loss is not a small amount. So what does that look like as you tumble back?
It feels like a nightmare. The injuries I've sustained start to radiate on me, so I feel those injuries kind of coming back on. I just want to get away from it as soon as far as possible.
Okay. So maybe you scramble up and you start running in a direction. And that's when you guys hear, "Hey, who the fuck are you guys? Hey, intruders!" And you see, as you start to run away, Patrick, maybe back to where you're hiding, Pastor, you're still kind of getting up and you still hear from within the bush, one of those guys that you've seen moving around, these guards, is coming running at, let's see, who do I want it to run at? He's running at Pastor Wood. As it makes sense because you're not actually fleeing. You just kind of stumbled down. So he's coming at you. He's got this club out and he's just, "You fucking came to the wrong fucking place, man." And he comes charging at you. We're going to cut from there over to Bev and Shima. You've made it back to your car. Ed's still with you, no problem. Loads the books in. No sign of Marie. What do you two want to do?
Fuck.
I
That's a little
can-
inappropriate.
I
right here,
can
Ashley.
call.
Fade from that scene.
She knows that it'll work.
Hold on, guys. Ed and I got some shit to do.
Darling, this car is far too small for that. Not good.
I want to. Bev's still kind of upset that she was pulled away from the research.
Sure.
So.
Shama Mortas thinks that is handled, so she's moved on to thinking about Marie. Not super good at processing multiple tracks at the same time. And she's like, and do you have a phone that maybe I does the department have a phone that I could use, or does your office have a phone that I could use? I just want to maybe make a call to see if I can find Marie.
Well, sure, darling. He kind of leans like, you sure we want to leave Beverly alone, though?
Maybe you should wait with her. Can I can just
Well,
use the phone.
I suppose that's fine. Yeah. Well, okay. You just tell them that if anyone stops, you just tell them that I said it was all right.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ed. Thank you.
So Ed, Bev, you're kind of waiting in the car here and there. It's kind of awkward. It's definitely an awkward. Shima, we'll say you hurry off in the direction. You get to the office. Who are you calling?
That number again that Johnny had given her, and she's gonna call that number again.
Okay.
And,
Um.
hi, this is Miss Shima Owen, and I called this morning.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Stompy's not here. He hasn't gotten back yet.
Oh no, that's okay. I know he's traveling, but I need to speak with Max. I don't have Max's number, and I was hoping you could let me talk to Max.
Mr. Riccone, he doesn't live here. He's I don't know what Stompy is telling you, but this is just sort of like there's like four of us in like one bedroom. It's not a pretty place. This is Mr. Riccone's got kind of his own, his own deal.
Do you have his number so I can call him?
I'm just a low, like there's like 7 or 8 tiers of like folk between me and Mr. Riccone. I'm afraid to say.
The yellow pages?
I'm not too sure about that. I suppose you can go looking him up, but it is kind of would be a little strange for him to be in there. But right. Do you know how the mafia? How the organization works?
No.
There's a certain level of like anonymity that we have to like maintain.
So
that
how do
might
we get
be
in
a-
touch with him if he's on the yellow pages?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you don't know how to get in touch with them, you probably aren't somebody who should get in touch with him.
Oh.
You
But
know.
it told me to call him Max. So
Well, that's really good. That's great. That's fantastic. I don't even get to call him that.
someone else I should call?
Well, I don't
Maybe
really
you
know.
just need to speak with somebody about some police that have a friend of mine.
Well,
Can
then
you
you
help
should
me?
go to the police, and you should talk to them.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You are welcome. It's extremely awkward phone call. He hates them.
Do
you know how the mafia works?
Way better at this.
I mean, the organization.
He's not very good at his job either.
I feel neither of them really understand how the mafia works.
No, they don't. Oh goodness! What's Shiva's next course of action?
She's gonna call the operator.
Okay. Okay, you get an operator, no problem.
Hi, I'm looking for a police station near UCLA, and she gives them the college
Sure.
address.
And yeah, you can get an address for that. That's fine. And then do you want me to connect you? Is it emergency? I can connect you right now.
That
Do you want
would
me to?
be that. Yes, thank you.
Well,
And
non-emergency line. Yeah.
And then someone pops up. Police state the nature of emergency.
Oh, my friend was arrested.
Please state the nature of your emergency.
My friend was arrested. She says again slower.
I see. And are you looking to pay bail for their release?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, well. And he goes back to the car.
Oh my
Someone's
god!
so much better at this. Should have done this.
Tried so hard. Tried so hard. We cut back to Marie. Marie, last we saw you, you were about to look underneath the bed. Is that right?
Yes, wise choice. Gonna look under
Okay.
the bed, see if that's where the noise is coming from.
As you go to look underneath the bed, you see that there is on the underside of the mattress, there's a bit of a protrusion that kind of unfurls a bit and it moves and shifts. And you see a mouth begin to open. But instead, it just looks like this almost circular, kind of lamprey mouth. And it's got this round and round, this spiral of teeth. And it just goes. And then as you peek, it snaps out at you. So two things are going to happen. I need a sand test first for seeing it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start there.
Rolling against 50. Oh, that's an 88 over 56.
Oh my god, guys. Oh jeez. That's 6 points of sand loss. That's temporary insanity. Yeah,
Oh, crap.
Sorry.
You said 6,
okay.
right?
That's 6.
Okay.
So
Down
so
to 50.
Okay, so two things are going to happen. It's actually because you got really close, and you have to kind of get close as you look underneath. It's literally going to try to bite you. So let's resolve that, and then we're going to resolve your temp and sand. Okay. All right. So it's going to attempt to brawl. You can choose to try to dodge, or you can choose to try to fight back. It's up to you. So we'll say this. We'll say this happens before we trigger your temp insanity. So do you want to dodge, or do you want to try to fight back?
I imagine that I would try to dodge. It would just sort of be a fall backwards kind of a situation.
All right, go ahead and roll that dodge.
Okay, I'm going to take a plus 10, so it'll be rolling against 45. Doesn't matter, 85.
Well, the good news is I actually rolled above my target, so I miss. So it snaps out at you. You stumble back. You make a lot of noise, we'll say, in doing so. You just thump, thump, thump. You knock something over, which crashes, but you don't get bit.
Sure.
Now we have to resolve the fact that you just lost 6 points of insanity. 6 points of sanity. Because temporary insanity happens when you lose 5 or more, and you just roll. That's the max on just seeing this thing, this horrific, mythos creature kind of thing. So I need you to make an int roll.
Okay, for my bout of madness. That is a 3 under 60.
Okay. So if the int roll succeeds, you recognize the significance of what happened and you go temporarily insane. Roll a d10.
Yeah, this is the thing you don't actually want to pass.
Yeah, you want to fail this for sure because you can like shake it off.
you don't want to understand
Denial
the shit that
is
you're
a
looking at.
powerful tool. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a
shit,
3
man.
on my D10.
Okay, so that's going to be, you're going to be temporarily insane for 3 hours. So there's 2 phases. First is a bout of madness. So you lose all self-control. For a short time, I get to control your character and dictate your actions. But during this time, you cannot actually lose additional sanity during this bout. So this is going to last. Roll another d10.
Rolling. 10.
Okay, this is going to last 10 combat rounds.
Oh
Okay.
dear.
And then once this ends, we'll do the underlying insanity. All right.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to collab on this happens, on what happens. I think the idea of you just like panic fleeing every which way. How's that sound?
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. Like, it's just sort of like she really wanted to see where it was coming from, and then she looked under. There was like, oh crap,
Holy shit.
and then just loses everything. So she would definitely just be hightailing it out of that room.
And so we start to see like Marie, you scramble up, knock this over, that over, the door slams open. You start running, you hear briefly like the sound of that man who was beaten across you kind of stir, but you just keep going. Like an arm reaches out from underneath that tangle of bodies beneath the velvet curtain, and you just you nearly trip, but you push through into the hallway until you find yourself like out in this landing, and you can see these grand staircase going down, and you can see that there's a hall that kind of extends either to the right or to the left, and that's where we'll leave it with you. Let's check back with Patrick Price. Patrick, you've been running, and that's when you turn around and you see that Pastor Wood is being beset upon by one of these guys. You have control of yourself. You didn't suffer temp insanity, so you still have control of yourself, but you just scrambled away for a bit. We're gonna do initiative between the 3 of you guys. So, what are your guys' decks?
70.
Okay.
60.
Okay, and then for me, I've got a 55. Okay, so Pastor Wood, you get to go first. It is raining. It's getting dark. So far, there's only one of these guys, but he has shouted, so there's only so much time before reinforcements happen. Patrick, you run for a little bit, but then it dawns on you that Pastor's not there, and you look around, and that's where you see. So we'll say you're a little bit further away, but not completely out of range. Pastor, we start with you. What do you want to do?
All right. You said he was running at me with the baton raised. So Pastor Wood wants to assume like a fighting stance, like put his fists up to draw him in. And then I'd like to do a fighting maneuver where he comes at me with the baton, and I want to try and use his momentum to shove him into that plant that we're running from right now.
Okay. I think that sounds pretty freaking amazing. So fighting maneuver, we're going to compare builds. I think he's just standard build.
I'm build 0.
Yeah, he's build 0 as well. So there's that's a wash. And then go ahead and make your brawling attack.
Yes, that is a 27 under 61.
I'm going to try to fight back.
Oh, yes.
67 for me. That's a fail. So he fails. So describe. So you wanted to kind of push him back into the.
When his baton comes in, I just want to grab the arm and just Steven Seagal Aikido.
Okay.
With my old man build, just roll him into the plant behind me.
And he goes stumbling back into it, and you hear, fuck, get the fucking goddamn these fucking things. You just hear him kind of like freaky. He looks down and he sees like a chunk of his back is being eaten by it. He doesn't panic the way that you guys did, but he is still getting attacked by it. So I will go ahead, and because this happened, I'm going to roll an attack by that mouth thing and see if that does anything. All right. Of course I succeed at attacking myself. Okay, so that is actually going to do damage to this guy. Okay. All right, so I took some damage. So you just see the splurt of blood erupt from where it bites and kind of tears through clothes, rips away a chunk of flesh, and he screams out in pain. Patrick, you're next to go.
Spend my movement to get closer to clobber this guy.
Okay, so you move on up, you run up, and you try to clobber him. Go ahead and roll your attack. I'm going to go ahead and continue to fight back, even though I'm going to take a penalty die. I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, that's a shame. That was a good roll.
3 on my brawl.
God damn.
Extreme
Okay.
success.
All right, you will succeed. I did really well in the first, but I rolled a 90 in the 90s with the second. Go ahead and give me your damage.
Punch. A 1.
Okay. So you guys have pushed him back into the bush. He's being chewed and bit by this mouth that's hidden in this palm frond. Patrick, you come running up to smash him as well. He tries to swing at you with his club, misses, and then it's going to be his turn. Okay. I think, considering what's happening, I think he's going to spend the turn. He doesn't have quick draw or anything like that, so he's just going to pen the turn. He's like, fuck it. And he's going to, like, kind of sluggishly, as he steps up and stumbles away from the bush, he's going to pull out a gun from the holster. I'm going to say, though, him unentangling himself from the bush and drawing his weapon and getting away from... I'm going to say he's not going to necessarily be able to fire it because he doesn't have, like, any special ability to, like, quick draw or something like that. But he has a gun out now. We'll go around to the top of the round, and Pastor Wood, you get another action here. He is bleeding from his side. He took a punch to the face from Patrick, so he's got a little blood coming out of his mouth. He's now out of the bush, we'll say, but you can still hear the and it's like spitting now, and you can see splurts of the blood and like little chunks of flesh starting to erupt from within that palm. What do you do, Pastor?
Could you refresh my memory? Is it another fighting maneuver to try and knock someone unconscious, or do I just have to get their HP below a certain level?
I'm not sure if you can just choose with a fighting maneuver to knock someone unconscious. Like not unless you like get like a special.
I know you can in the pulp rules. Maybe that's what I'm getting confused.
We're not playing full pulp.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's fair.
It's the type of thing where like you would want to get him below, or if you like ambushed him, I would give it to you. But in this case,
no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think could I do a fighting maneuver to try and disarm him?
Of course, yeah. I think that's perfectly fine.
I think that's what I'd like to do then.
Okay. I think this time he'll try to dodge, as he wants to get away, and he's still got his gun out.
I'm rolling hot, Jeff. I rolled a 16 under 61.
That's what, a hard?
Yes.
A success? Okay. You're going to pass. I passed as what I got a pass, but it was a normal success. So you do manage, as he tries to dodge out of the way and turn back and shoot you, you manage to just like smash down on his wrist, and you can see the gun just go tumbling into the grass and into the mud, and it is no longer in his hand. Patrick, your turn.
I'm going to pick up the gun.
Okay. Pick up the gun. I'll say you can do one more thing. What do you want to do?
I'll backhand him with it.
I love it. Okay. Roll your attack. I will again try to dodge. Oh, no.
34 under 59.
I rolled 100. Okay. Go ahead. Let's see. We'll call this basically, we'll call it a club. I don't know if there's a number for it. So we'll do like a D6 plus your damage bonus. So roll a D6 and then add whatever your damage bonus might be.
I don't have a damage bonus, so it's just straight D6.
Okay.
Got a 6.
Oh, goodness.
Yay!
He just, you take the gun, you pick it up, and you smash it right across his face. He tries to dodge out of the way, but you get him right in the temple. His eyes just kind of go wobbly this way and that, and he just crumbles to the ground. I'll say that you're not sure, like you're not 100% sure he's dead. Like you look, but that knocked him out for sure. And so he's on the ground. He was shouting. It is raining, but he was shouting. And while you guys were relatively quiet, he was shouting. So you guys have like a moment to do something. What is it?
Very quickly pat down his pockets looking for keys as I kind of pull him back towards that plant.
Roll a luck test. We'll see if he's got keys.
95 over 47.
He does not. He does not have keys. Actually, no. We'll say he has keys, but it's like a ring of keys, and there's a lot on them. So it would take time to go. Like, you would have to. You're not sure which one it is. It could be car keys, could be carriage house keys, could be whatever. As you try to drag him back to the plant, Patrick, you have a moment to do something.
Pull Pastor Wood out here. We got company coming.
Well, Pastor Wood is pulling the body. He's doing something. So Pastor Wood is dragging the body.
Keep an eye out while he does that.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden.
Come on. Oh, God. I fumbled.
Okay. Yeah.
It's pushable? No, it's not.
No, not a fumble.
Yeah.
You think everything's fine. You think, okay.
It's fine.
You think you got away with
clear.
it. Okay. All right. We'll wait for Ashley to get back before we jump back to Bev and Shima, but we'll check back in with Marie. We see Marie, and she's just... Melissa, roll a d6. Tell me what you roll.
Okay. Rolling 5.
Okay. Okay, so as you kind of run out, you can see that there is there's like this grand staircase that goes down. There's 2 sides to it. Then there's a hallway. And you go to run, and you go down like the right side of the staircase, and you're just making, and you can hear this loud sound, and you get down onto the first floor, and you can see that you're in some kind of grand entry hall. When you look behind you, as you're looking for somewhere to go, you can see that there is a staircase on the other side that can go back up. Underneath that staircase, there's another little door. Deeper into the house, which is like kind of an open floor plan, you can see like this huge ballroom kind of extends all the way to the back of the house. And you also see like there's this double set of doors right in front of you that you assume might be some kind of main entrance. But again, you're temporarily insane and panicking, so roll a d6.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do, is just roll a d6 and just
kind of seeing which way you go.
Yeah. I rolled a 1.
Okay. So we'll say that means you're going to bust your way. Like, you just go up to the front door. You hear and you see right in the middle of the door, like where the eyeball, like the peephole would be, you see it kind of writhe again, and a mouth opens, but you just sort of push it open, and you come running out into the middle of the rain. You hear shouts like, "Get the fuck! We got a runner!" And we'll cut away from Marie at that point, and she's now outside in the rain, being chased by some of these guards.
Oh, yeah.
Bev and Shima, we're back with you. What do you guys do? What's the plan?
Shima's come back to the car and this I couldn't get a hold of Max, but I did get which police station was nearest to us, and they said we could just go bail around. Are you muted? Or
Beverly
something?
takes in what you say, but she looks at Ed and thank you for calming me down. I am so sorry for interrupting your day, darling, but I'll speak to you later. I need an attitude adjustment, I think. And she winks and then kind of ushers him quickly out of the car, and then gets Shima in here, and then waves as we quickly kind of peel out.
Okay. And you just hear random well, no, I see it. I do that, and then he's gone. Okay.
And so as we're driving, she's making sure to be very calm, give no reason to be pulled over, nothing like that. Okay, so we know that Marie was taken by the police, and the Aconis have confirmed that a lot of the police aren't great police. So I don't know how good that would be. Maybe we could call and confirm if she's there from a payphone or something.
I have their number.
Okay.
But
So
we should. The emergency help was no help.
oh yeah, no, the non-emergency line. And then so she'll go and we'll drive around and we'll find like a payphone.
Sure.
And then Bev's gonna get out to call the non-emergency line for the police department.
Okay. I'll tell you what. This is purely for expediency. Like you're gonna get your information no matter what. This just is how long it takes you to get it. Give me like whatever tact. Are you charming them? Are you just trying to logic them? Are you trying to intimidate them? Just give me a social roll, and this is purely just to see how quickly they handle your case. That's it.
I'm so happy
What would
someone's so much better at doing this.
I'm not good at this, but what would like a logical roll be?
Persuade, probably.
Persuade. What do I have in persuade? 10. Oh,
Your
fuck.
charm's pretty good. You have 41 charm. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I'll do charm.
Okay.
Oh dear, I'm so worried about my friend. Oh, could you possibly help me?
Mhm.
I'm so worried about my dear friend.
Okay.
19.
All right. You get someone on the line who is maybe they just started their shift, so they haven't yet been beaten down by life. So
Yeah, fair.
when you talk to them, they're
That's
in a
too
decent
real.
mood,
Actually.
This is too real, Jeff.
and you start asking questions, and you're like, "Well, that sounds terrible. Well, let me go inquire about it. Hold, please." And then
Thank you.
little time passes. Not much, a couple minutes, and they come back. Like, well, I'm sorry, ma'am. Did you say she was? And like, she repeats the description of Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And do you mention Marie's name, perhaps? You don't have to. It's not a trick question. I'm just curious.
I think she would at this point because
Okay.
we know that they have our
Okay.
information.
Okay. Well, I'm so very sorry, but I think there might be some kind of miscommunication as we do not have a woman here by that name nor that description. I suppose it's certainly possible they could have been taken to a different holding, but there is no one currently here. Now, can I ask you, where did the arrest actually take place?
Shaman told you see it like parking lot.
Yeah, which she would infer.
Well, yes, that's true. Ours is. Well, it's certainly possible that they just let her off with a warning. That sometimes happens, especially if it is a misdemeanor or a small disturbance. They could have just let her off with a warning and stern talking to you to not do it again. So it sounds like it's good news. It sounds like your friend isn't going to have her permanent record marked up.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Women have to stick together. You know how scary the world can be.
Well, my name's Frederick, but that's fine. I was having a good day until now, but
And she, apologizes, whatever. And thank you. Hangs up the phone.
I just want to
Beth doesn't have patience today.
Okay.
She can fake it till she makes it as long as she needs to. Okay,
Okay.
so she will get in the car, and at that point,
Mhm.
if we're concerned that she was maybe released, then she will want to do like a stop by the hotel just to verify she's there or not.
Okay. Okay.
So that would be Bev's next option.
All right. So we'll say then we'll watch as like just sort of a quick like kind of montage of you driving back, the two of you getting out of the car, going into the hotel, going up to your room, not there, going down to the main desk. She hasn't returned, going into the lobby area and kind of like looking around here and there, just kind of seeing if you can find her, knocking on Pastor Wood's room, etc. Nothing.
They're not back yet. Okay. We know that Patrick and Pastor Wood were surveilling the house. We need help. We need reinforcements. Let's see if we can find out where they're staked out, and go from there. Okay.
Can we say that Shama's got her club in the trunk?
Yeah, that's fine.
If not, if we're
No. You just went up to your room too, so I would say at any point you could have grabbed whatever you wanted.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So you two can figure out what you want to do next, and then we'll check back in with. We'll go to the guys. Pastor Wood, Patrick Price. Last we saw, Pastor Wood, you had just kind of dumped the body into this bush. Patrick Price, you were kind of covering. You were looking, and you're just constantly looking this one direction, and you're like, "Oh yeah, no, we're good." And then, like all of a sudden, you just hear and feel thump as a guy's just going to come up right behind you, and it's a crit fail. So the guy is just going to have snuck up, and he's going to hit you before Pastor Wood is able to get his head up from him trying to essentially feed this guy to the bush. You haven't seen it yet, Pastor Wood. And then right as you look up, there's a guy who's chasing down and is looking, and he's about to smack down on Patrick Price. Patrick, I'll let you can fight back, you can dodge, but no matter what you do, you're going to take a penalty die on it, as you are going to kind of get a very last second warning to this.
I'm trying to fight back.
Okay, sound good. You know how to do a penalty die when it pops up?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So he's just going to try to hit you. Yay, I succeeded.
I fumbled 100.
Oh gosh, darn it. Wow.
Is that's not a crit fail, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 is that's as bad as it can get.
Oh shit!
Is there something I don't remember if there is something that happens.
This
I
is
might
the
just
end of
do
the
max
PP gang.
damage. I might just do max damage. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do max damage and say like you go prone. So he's just gonna smack you over the head. Go ahead and let me see what his. I don't think he has a damage bonus, but let me try. So take 6 points of damage as you feel a heavy crack across your back. You tumble down to the ground into the mud, and we'll say that you are rolling around prone and you're really dazed. And so I'm going to say for like the next, we'll go for like the next 10 minutes. Anything you try to do is penalty die, as you're just like, you're like woozy and dizzy, and maybe you probably have a concussion of some kind.
Well, I'm a bit of a tough guy, so I'm going to activate my pulp talent here. Spend 10 luck to avoid 5 damage.
That sounds great.
Yes.
All right. Still take 1 point.
Hey.
You still get knocked. All the other stuff, you get knocked to the ground, the dizziness, all that still takes effects, but it's only 1 point of damage. Pastor Wood, you see this happen. What do you do?
Oh, shit. I can't get in much of a fight. This plant's probably full as well, so I can't really throw another guy into it.
It's not even. It's like this big. It's not. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while.
That's what I'm saying. It's full. I pull out a knife, and I'm gonna try and protect my buddy Patrick.
All right, roll an attack. I'll go ahead and fight back. Yeah. Okay. As you come charging at this guy with a knife.
That's a miss. I rolled a 95 over 61.
Okay, I also missed. So you stab, he dodges, swings, you dodge, and it's just like this kind of back and forth where you guys miss. Then we go to Patrick. Patrick, you're prone, you're dizzy, like your head is just like it's just spinning and spinning, and you look back up and you can see Pastor Wood has charged and is trying to protect you. What do you do?
Is prone any specialty to standing up, or can I just stand up?
No, I mean we're always a little loose with it, so you can get. He's not like really far away, since he's right next to you. You can stand up and attack. I don't care.
Then I'll get on my feet and brawl this guy.
Okay, and so again, any attack you do right now is just going to be at a penalty die, just because like you're seeing two of them, we'll say, and then he's going to.
You get that one, Basta. I got this one.
He's going to try to fight back with his own penalty die.
Hilarious.
Oh my god.
61. I could spend 2 luck here.
Go for it
to make it a success.
Okay. I also had a penalty die because this is the second time I've tried to do it. So he is. So he fails. So go ahead and give me your damage roll as you come up and try to attack him.
Comes out to a 3.
Okay. All right. Obviously that's not enough to take him out, but now there's 2 of you. And we go to the top of and we go to his turn, technically. And so he's going to call out really loud, It's like, we've got fucking intruders, back entrance, conservatory. He just kind of screams out. And you guys, we'll say you see running over from the carriage house now. You can see there's two guys now that are starting to run over. One of them is pulling out a gun. But they're not yet in the fight. Pastor, what would you like to do?
Have we heard someone yell out about a runner in the yard?
Give me a spot
is
hidden.
that...
Or, excuse me, give me a listen roll.
Okay. 42 under 50. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
You do, in fact, hear that. And as you're looking in the direction of the carriage house, your head kind of turns ever so slightly, and you can see Marie Wynn running like a bat out of hell, while there is like another one of these thugs is sort of chasing after her in the mud and in the grass, kind of almost trying to get back out to the street, it looks like. That's what you see.
So that's like headed towards the carriage house. Is there more guys headed from the carriage house towards us as well? So this whole lawn is just very chaotic right now.
It's very chaotic. It's absolutely Keystone Cops thing going on right now. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for slowing things down.
No, it's great.
I would like to try another fighting maneuver if I can. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I have my knife. I want to try and like cripple the guy. Like not necessarily. I want to slow him down so he can run away. So like I'm imagining I use my knife on his leg or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just try to slash across his hamstring or something like that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that sounds great. He will, with his own club, he'll try to fight back.
Can we take audience dice on this?
Yeah, we do. I think it's plus 10, plus 20.
Yeah.
Plus 10.
I just didn't know if we could do it in combat. I'll go ahead and take the 20.
I did actually pass for once. I almost never pass. These guys have surprisingly low brawl for guards. You would think they would be better at this.
I rolled a 61. My standard is 61. I took 2 bonus dice, so that bumped it up to 81. I'm just shocked that I rolled exactly what I had.
Okay, so you rolled a success. He also rolled a success. So he was fighting back. So he would need. So if he chose to fight back, it's what is it? I think the tie goes to you because
tie goes to dodge, and then fighting
tie
back
goes to the attacker on fight back. So you're gonna get it. So go ahead. So you're gonna slash. I'll say it still does like a point of damage or 2, but it's not gonna do the full damage because you're specifically trying to just do the fighting maneuver. And you just see his like leg kind of buckles underneath, and he crumples to the ground.
And I just call out to Patrick, "We gotta run."
Okay. And so you start running in the direction where. Which direction are you going? Where are you going? You can head. So Marie is essentially running.
$1 million question.
So like there's this. So think of it this way: there's the main house, there's the carriage house, there's the street. Right now, we'll say that Marie is like you can see her effectively like running towards the street, which is like off to the north, and then we'll say like the carriage house is off to the south, and like the house is like in between basically, and you guys are on like the eastern side of the house, so you can kind of see her off, kind of like to your right, running towards the street, being chased by this guy, and off to your left, running from the carriage house with these other 2 guys, one of whom is pulling a gun. Where does Pastor Wood go?
I'm imagining it would be better to not bring more guys towards Marie. So I would like to run northwest to go behind the house.
Yeah.
And hopefully do a loop where we can see that Marie gets away or doesn't get away, but pull guys away from her. Okay.
So you start running not directly to her, but kind of vaguely in her direction to the other side of the house.
On the far side of the house, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Patrick, your turn. You just see Pastor Wood slash this guy in the leg and start running around the house. You look back and you can see there's now 2 guys. One of them is pulling up a gun and he's getting ready to, and he's kind of like stopping and pointing it at you, while the second guy is continuing to run in your direction. So one of them is probably going to take a shot here in a sec. What do you want to do?
I'm going to book it, start weaving away.
Okay. So you're going to follow Pastor Wood?
Yeah, I'll follow his route.
Okay. I'm going to say this guy's going to get 1 shot off. I'm going to go ahead and give him a penalty die. He's going to try to just essentially shoot as the 2 of you are running around the side of the house. 85, though. There's a splinter of wood, Patrick, right next to your head as you curve around to the side. And you can see some wood and some plaster just explodes. You hear the sounds of a gunshot go off. Marie, you're running. You make it to you're kind of running in the direction of this this cross street. There's also like this turnaround section, kind of not so much a driveway, but just sort of a loop around. And you can see that you can kind of just continue to run in the direction of the street. You can kind of run one way, you can run the other. Go ahead and give me another D6 roll.
Yeah, I'm definitely still in my 10 rounds of this bout of madness. 3.
Okay. So we'll say 3 is going to send you, we'll say, to the east. And so, Pastor, you just watch as she's like, and someone's following, and she just kind of starts to veer off. And you can see her almost kind of starting to veer towards you in a way at this point. And you don't even think she's seen you as she is just running terrified. And then it's true, Marie. I'm going to say in your temporary insanity state, you're just running and running and running and running.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll go to so Marie, but what is your dex so that I can keep track of this?
70.
Okay, 70. All right. I'm going to say you'll probably do one more round of temp, and then we'll give you control of your character again. Okay, so let's go to the top of the round. Pastor Wood, you just heard a gunshot from behind you. You can see that there is a guard that's chasing after Marie. We'll say that there is a single car in that kind of parked turnaround area. There's no one, doesn't look like there's anyone there, it's just parked. But you are in eyesight of the front of the house, sort of off vaguely to your left. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go rogue from the plan here, Patrick. I'm gonna keep running west, away from Marie, and
So
if I can,
Okay.
if I can do this while running, I think it makes more sense. I would just drop the knife. I throw the knife, and I grab for my pistol in my bag. Maybe not even taking it out of the bag, just feeling for the hilt, and just popping off the trigger, shooting the ground to try and make noise.
Okay. I'll say none of that is probably going to take a roll since you're not specifically trying to hit anybody. And we'll say you fire. And then it's at that point as you start running west, as you're almost kind of coming in behind the guy that's chasing Marie, as they're going like up to the northeast, and you're sweeping in behind. And he'll like duck at that point with his head as this is the second time a gunshot is going off. And then he'll quickly look around and he'll see you and he'll look right in your direction. You've got the gun. You're still kind of fumbling with it, getting it out of your body, but you're running, and he sees you, and then he starts to reach into his coat pocket. He hadn't been shooting at Marie up until this point. He had just been chasing after her, but now he's reaching for his gun. Patrick, what do you want to do?
I'm going to shoot at the guy pulling his gun out.
Okay. Do you have a gun? Does Patrick carry a gun?
I picked up the
He
gun.
grabbed the one
the guard.
from.
Oh, that's right. And you smash him over the head with it. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your attack. I mean, I'm going to roll a spot hit and see if he even notices you yet.
All right.
He does not notice you, so it's just going to be a shot. He's not going to try to do anything.
25 in handguns, so I've shot it before.
Not a boy.
13. Here we go.
Okay. Okay. So these are basic revolvers, 32 revolvers. They do a D8 worth of damage.
8's okay. 7.
Oh my. 7
Center
points
mass.
of damage.
Holy crap.
So that guy, he's reaching for his gun. He's going to shoot, and all of a sudden, he gets hit. And you can see that he doesn't fall down completely. You catch him in the side, and he looks, and now he obviously sees you, Patrick. You got your gun up. You're pointing at him, and he's got like a gun kind of hanging loosely from his hand. Pastor, you've been running across the front of the house, sort of. You have a gun fumbling out of your hands. Marie, you're still kind of running vaguely towards like almost this vector, not quite perpendicular to the street, but you're getting there. And I'm going to have, I have a couple people to go with here, because I have one guy who's been running and is going to try to chase down Patrick. And I have one guy who's got a gun, and I have 2 people to shoot at. So I have Pastor Wood and I have Patrick, and this guy's going to shoot at one of you. 1 to 3 is going to be Pastor Wood. It is a 6. So he's going to turn and he's going to shoot at Patrick. You just shot him, so he's going to turn. You can see like a blossom of red on his shirt underneath, and also like he's got this light colored jacket, like a blazer over top. this is all in rain, and like this blossom of red starting to happen. He's going to turn and he's going to fire in your direction. Oh, Patrick. Oh, that's way out of the box.
I can dodge it.
Let's see. This is a gun. I can't remember. All right, melee
Looking it up
attacks.
now. Dive for cover. Is
You can
the
dive for cover.
dodge,
Yeah,
but it forfeits your next action if you do that.
right. It's up to you.
I'll just take it then.
Okay. I do succeed, actually. So that is going to be a D8 roll right back at you. They're using the same kind of gun. 7 points of damage.
I'll activate my tough guy here. The bullet chips off Jack Pisner's flask. Take 5 damage soak.
Okay. All right, man. So there's now a firefight out right in front of this mansion. Multiple gunshots have started to happen. Marie, I'm going to say you finally come out of it. Patrick, by the way, another one of these guys, the guy who was chasing you, not the guy who was kind of firing and it exploded, he's going to run around the corner. I'm going to say it's going to take him more than a second to figure out who to target. But within just a few steps from you, there's another one of these guys. He's still got his club out. You know that even a little bit further behind him, there's another man with a gun. Both of them have been chasing after you. One of them that was chasing Marie has turned, fired at Patrick, taken a bullet himself. So right now there are 3 total guards, one of whom has been shot and has taken some damage. Okay? So that's where we're at, guys. And I'll say, Marie, at this point, you are now back in control as you hear gunfire and maybe that snaps you out of it. You look back and you can see Pastor Wood, Patrick. You see Patrick suddenly take a gunshot, and then there's 2 guys bearing down on him. One is over by like you can see like they're relatively in open space. Pastor Wood in one direction. The guy who was chasing you is a little bit further behind you, but he has stopped and he's now firing. So we're going to start with Pastor, but Marie, you'll go on the same count. So Pastor Wood, what are you doing?
Patrick's being shot. I can't leave Patrick behind. So I whip around, stop running, and I finish fumbling with my gun. I've got at least 3 shots left, right? Like I couldn't have fired more than 3 last round. So I'm going to fire all 3 at the guy that shot Patrick, the guy with the gun pointed at Patrick.
Okay.
I do have my Pulp Talent rapid fire where I ignore the penalty die for multiple handgun shots.
Yeah.
So I should be able to do all 3 here.
Okay.
First one is a 97. At what point does it become a fumble?
It depends on your skill. So
I'm an 85.
So for you, I think it's if you're above 50. I think it's only if it's like 100. Pretty sure. Yeah, if your target is 50 or over, a fumble only happens on 100.
I'm an 85. I'll spend the 12 luck to make it a hit. If that's cool.
That's fine. Spend the 12 luck to make it a hit.
All right. And then second shot. That's a 2. So that is an extreme success.
Okay. Go ahead and
do I roll damage for each one before, or do I roll for the dice?
You can roll damage right now.
Okay. Sorry,
Might kill.
I'm getting excited here.
No, it's fine.
1d10 plus 2. So first hit is a 4.
That is exactly enough, actually, as he had already taken a bunch from Patrick. And so he takes some from you as he turned to fire at Patrick, fires, hits, and then as he's getting ready to fire a second time, you whoosh, in his head just, and you can see a huge exit wound explode, and he crumples to the ground. As we'll say, 1 is now down. Okay, and I'll say if you wanted to continue rapid firing, you can do another shot and like kind of turn and try to shoot a different target if you wanted. I'm fine with that.
Is that allowed to change targets like that?
I don't know.
I don't think it makes sense
like
for
fun.
Pastor. He would focus on, he would put 2 shots into the guy. He kills the guy and then overkills the guy, and he would call it there.
Okay. And so then, Marie, it's your turn now. The guy who's been chasing you, his head just got cleaned out. He's fallen to the ground. You can see Patrick has taken a shot. You can see Pastor Wood Looks to be a little worse for real. Rain is coming down. Gunfire is happening. It's almost completely dark at this point. You know that you heard some music inside. You saw some strange freaking mouth creatures. Like, what is it Marie is doing?
Marie is just barefoot and running, and she's just like kind of shrieking at this point, like, where's the car? The car, where's the car? And she's just like running, like trying to run away and just hoping that maybe one of them will kind of yell where the car is. So she's like trying to get distance from this place, thinking the car is probably now parked like right outside the front. Okay. And so she's just going to kind of be running and looking for the car. Like,
I'm fine with you running. Yeah, that's fine. The car's not too close because they did drive it specifically a couple blocks away. That was the idea. But you can keep running. That's fine. All right, done.
Yes.
Marie, you're out on the street and you're running down Hyacinth Ave. We go to Patrick. There's two guys relatively close to you. One of them has a club out. One of them has a gun out. Pastor Wood just blew a guy's brains out. And you see Marie now running on the street, almost out of your eyesight as it is starting to get dark and the rain is coming down. What would you like to do?
To flee down the street as well and shoot as covering fire.
Okay. So if you're saying you're shooting as covering fire, are you just kind of trying to shoot to, like, you're just turning around, or not turning around, you're just running and then just kind of firing over your shoulder?
Not really aiming at anything.
Okay. Are you so like basically what I'm asking is, are you attacking them or are you just firing the gun to try to scare them?
Let's scare them off. That's before.
Okay. All right. So we'll say you start running, you fire the gun. We'll say you empty the clip, or it's not a clip these days. You empty the revolver because there's a revolver. So you finish shooting whatever's left, and you start running in the direction of Bree. What I'll say this will do, since you're firing vaguely back, is still give them a penalty die on anything they try to do, as they're like maybe ducking and being a little bit more careful with what they do. Okay. There's two guys. One of them, they were following you. You just ran away. Pastor Wood, however, is standing there and just blew a guy's brains out. I'm going to say the one with the club is going to charge after Pastor Wood. And then the one with the gun is going to fire, even with the penalty die, in the direction of Patrick Brace. So penalty die firing at you. Like, it's just sort of maybe moving, and you're firing vaguely back, like over your shoulder. You're just kind of holding the gun behind you, firing. It's like smashing off of the side of the house. It's not hitting him, obviously, but because he's a little bit more concerned with the shots, we'll say he doesn't get the perfect aim off, and that'll account for the penalty die. Oh, that's a shame. That would have been successful. Wow, it's the exact same roll 2 times. So that's going to be a hit, in fact, there, Patrick, as he does actually hit you. So D8 in your direction. Okay, not so bad this time. Only 2 points of damage on the shot. Okay. So he does clip you, we'll say. A bullet comes out, catches you again as you're running away. Pastor Wood. What do I want to do? Yeah, I think he's just going to come up.
You want to give up and go home? Pretty sure that's what you want to do.
This is my house. I am both. This is where they live, so we're good. Okay, he's going to try to hit you. I think he's going to try to run up and smash you with the billy club. God damn it.
Can I try to dodge this?
Don't worry about it. 99. I just rolled a 99. So he's going to run up with a 99, which is a fumble for them. And as he goes to swing, he's just going to stumble and trip. And he's going to slide across on the ground, and he's going to go smashing into the car that's in that kind of a looped that loop turnaround. And we'll say he'll have to take some extra time to get back up. So right now we'll say one of them is a little bit tangled up. There is still one guy that's shooting at Patrick, and you can see Patrick kind of take a shot. Marie at this point is probably out of danger, but Patrick is probably still within range. Top of the round. Pastor Wood, you're first.
Okay. The basic rules say that fighting attacks made against a prone character gain 1 bonus die. Does that include like a ranged attack if I was going to shoot him?
It's
page 128. It says kicking someone when they're down is easier. Fighting attacks made against a prone character gain 1 bonus die. So it specifically mentions kicking, but it doesn't say
I mean, I know a lot
It
of
says-
games, they do the whole prone thing. It's harder for ranged attacks, but I always feel like that's kind of stupid if you're just standing over them and you're pointing the gun down, or something like that. You have something, Melissa?
So the combat help in Foundry for prone says firing at a prone character takes a penalty die.
Right. I don't think that makes sense if you're just standing right over top of them with a pistol. I just don't think that makes sense. Like that just doesn't.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, like from distance, I can see, but
And he just smashed into the car. So I'll say for this instance, we'll say go ahead and take.
Oh,
the,
here
you can take the
it
pistol.
does say ignore this if at point blank range. So it does specifically mention. that.
Perfect. Excellent.
Oh,
so
hell
we're
yeah.
ignoring that.
Sorry, I just had to read a
Nice.
couple more sentences.
No
Okay,
worries.
so I get a bonus die, and this is my last bullet in the chamber here.
Okay. Make it a good one.
Oh, shit, I did not make it a good one. It's an 84 with the bonus die. So that's just barely a success. I needed an 85.
Okay. What's the damage?
7 plus 2, 9.
9 points of damage. That is not enough to actually kill him. As you fire down, you don't quite get him in the head. Maybe you get him like in the chest or somewhere in the torso. But he is still there. And he looks up at you. Walker's gonna fuck you up. And he spits up some blood. Okay.
And I can't keep firing because I'm out of bullets.
All right. You can move a little bit, but probably not too much because you did probably have to stumble over to get into point blank range. So you are still within distance. Patrick, I will say, Marie, you're still running and running and running. Is that fair? Patrick, you have a gun in your hands, but you need a reload. We'll say you're out of bullets probably as you just kind of sprayed back. You can still hear the sounds of the guns behind you. You look over and you can see Pastor Wood just like point blank some guy in the ground, but there is still one person up, and he's got a gun. He was firing at you. He could just as easily turn back and fire at Pastor Wood. Does Patrick still run? Does Patrick turn? What does Patrick do?
I think I've gained enough distance that I can just keep running and flee the
Okay.
scene.
All right. So we'll say Marie and Patrick are running. Pastor Wood is left back by himself. So he's going to fire. This guy's going to fire at you. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't just turn and fire at you.
No, that's fair. It's
The good
fair.
news with them is they only get like one attack. So you're good. Do you want to try to die for cover?
No, because I need the extra action next turn.
Okay. Well, that's a hit, buddy. You should have dove for cover. That's a 26.
Oh no!
Okay.
Do you have the luck to
I
spend
live
for
on
the
the
healing
edge.
thingy?
Yes, but I don't know if it'll help. How much damage?
It's just 3 points of damage.
Oh yeah,
It's a D8.
yeah, I'm fine.
It's a D8. It's not-
I
gonna
did go
live forever.
unconscious though because I'm down to 1.
So yeah. Oh my God.
Then
You're-
you should do the thing.
You should probably. You don't have to.
You
I'm
should do the
perfectly
thing.
fine with you.
Even just getting you one means you can keep running.
I can't.
You,
I think
you-
that's
you can.
too risky for me.
What's too risky for you? I'm sorry. what?
Spending the 20 to roll because you're at least going to get one, which at least keeps you up.
He's
Yeah,
out
but then
one.
they shoot me again and I'm down.
Or you're down now, and then they just come up and point blank shoot you.
No, I'm not spending it. I'm going unconscious. I want to have the 30.
But
I-
why?
If I stay conscious, then they're just going to get another shot at me, and I'm not going to be able to tank 2 points, and I'm not going to be able to spend another heal. Like,
And
I don't think I can get away in
there's
one round. Is what I'm
or-
saying. I don't think I can get away in a round.
So
That's all it would buy
either
me.
20 now or 30 next round. is
A
what
30
you're saying.
stops me from actually dying. A 20 just saves me for a round.
Okay.
Okay. So as Marie and Patrick run away, you hear the sounds of a couple more gunshots. We'll fade out of that scene as Marie and Patrick, you get to your car. Pastor is not behind you. Beverly, Shima, we'll cut back to you. You finish looking around. You finish looking for Marie.
Yeah, they're not
you never
here.
Found her.
There's no notes.
What are you two doing?
I think one thing Beverly is going to do is she's going to go run downstairs and try and call Kearns. Just to check on the off chance that maybe Marie fled there.
Okay. Call the Palm Lounge.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. We'll say you don't immediately get him, but someone catches him. And he comes on. You ask about Marie, and he tells you, I remember, what was the voice I used for him? I totally forget.
It's been so long.
It's been a while since we talked to him. What's that?
Something
It's been every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like cool uncle vibes.
Yeah, cool uncle vibes
Not
and
Australia, though.
like northeastern accent is what I think.
I thought he was Russian this time.
This guy's just a man of many faces. Whoever he is, he says, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing? No, sorry, no, Marie, you guys ready to get on out of here?
Yeah, you got our message, right?
Which one's that?
The one that we requested that you reach out to Miss Janet and advise her.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Don't worry. I've been passing stuff along.
You're ready to like leave at any moment, right?
Well, I mean, it's not just any moment. I mean, we gotta,
Can you
I
prep?
I can make sure the plane's got, but we got to get permission from the tower and there's all that kind of stuff.
Start that now.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can do that. I can, probably take a file flight plan and everything. Touch in. Yeah, sure, no problem. I can get that done.
Okay.
All right. Are you okay? You sound a little stressed.
It's things have gone to shit, so we need to get out of here.
Oh,
Okay.
really? I know the rain is just super bad.
Kearns,
It's been really nice. What's that?
I have to go, but please get things ready as soon as you can, okay?
Sure,
If you see
yeah, no
Marie,
problem.
tell her that we're looking for her. If we aren't back, like if we don't meet you up like within next 24 hours, you might want to come get the stuff that we collected from the hotel.
Is it that?
Okay, bye.
Is that bad? Oh, nope.
Yeah, and she hangs up the phone, and she heads back upstairs with Shima. Do we leave the stuff? Do we leave the stuff here, or do we put it in the car?
Let's leave it here. Let's leave it here.
No. These are George Ayers
Wait, what
books.
do we? No, wait. Sorry, Meta. Remind me what we have. We have the artifact book with the stuff in the lockbox.
You have everything from the safety
Wait.
deposit box. You
Right.
all bought your own lockbox to store that in. So you have Henslow's. You got Henslow's notebook from Savannah. You got everything from his lockbox that you dug up. You got the stuff from the safety deposit box, like photos and accounting books and stuff like that. You have a box of books from the UCLA. And you got a couple odds and ends from George Ayers as well.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry, Redcon. Yeah. So we should take everything.
Okay.
And while Darky was on the phone, Sharma was mapping out the most direct route from us to Hyacinth.
To where?
So when we drive there, we can get there as fast as possible.
What was that, Ashley?
Where were you mapping to?
The Hyacinth address, the one we're going to get reinforcements for Marie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right.
We pack up our stuff into the car, and we start driving that way.
Okay. And you start driving. So you'll start driving over to Pasadena. Sure. No problem. Let's get back to Patrick and Marie. Marie, you get to the car first eventually, we'll say. Patrick, you join her moments later. And it's tucked away. Or maybe you catch up to her and you kind of point her in the direction. You have been hit a couple times. And both of you have seen this disgusting thing. But both of you also noticed that Pastor Wood is not following you. A beat goes by, a couple beats go by, and he's not here. What do you two want to do?
we take the car? Do we go? Do we drive back and get him? We can
Jump in. Yes, jump in.
We can hit a couple people with this, right?
Just get in there. You talk too much.
So I have 40 drive auto, so I think I might be the one hopping in the driver's seat.
Okay, if you want to drive.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a drive test.
Okay.
As the rain is coming down a little bit more heavy now.
Okay.
You got something there, Steven?
I did mess things up. I was playing by Delta Green rules. In Cthulhu, it says you don't go unconscious till you're at 0 hit points.
Okay.
I'm taking 2 for this. And I still missed 68 over 60.
Oh, you're going to drive. It's just not going to be pretty. Okay. So you took a shot. So we'll cycle back into Pastor Wood. There is a man on the ground bleeding in front of you. There's a guy who's got a gun who's firing at you. Your friends have abandoned you. 2-1. They're both alive. You hear the sounds of calls from behind you, and you can see now limping around the side of the house is the one whose leg you slashed. He's got a gun out as well. And so he's like limping, coming at you as well. What do you do, Pastor Wood?
I'm trying to run. I'm not trying to reload. I want to keep my gun, but I just want to spend my turn running.
Okay. You're going to spend your turn running, and they will spend their turn firing at you. Do you first? So there's going to be 2 guys firing at you as you run away. I'm going to say the guy who was laying on the ground, he's not going to get a shot off, but the other 2 will get shots off. Do you want to dive for cover? And if you do, that means you don't run as far as you think you're going to run. Because you have to dive for cover. You have to literally dive down into the ground, lose your action. Or do you just want to rip it?
Let's rip it.
Okay. First attack.
This is why I saved the 30. This is what I saved it for.
I got you.
Oh my gosh.
First shot.
Oh my gosh.
First shot. You're running. You hear the sounds of poosh, and the bullet flies past you, and you can see that there is a mailbox out in front of you that explodes. Metal, shavings, paper, etc. Second shot. You feel in your back, and you will take. I rolled a D8, 8 points of damage. An 8 on a D8.
So that takes me to 0. It's not a major wound because it's not half my hit points, unless it's remaining hit points. I think it's total hit points, right?
I think it's total. I think you're right.
It's maximum, yeah.
Yeah. So that would mean that I'm unconscious, not actually dying yet either. If no one gives me first aid, then I'll be dying, I believe.
Okay. So I would say...
If only regular damage has been taken, the character will not die and will heal in time. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Considering the circumstances, I'm going to cut from here. And we're going to see Marie and Patrick, you're driving. We're going to see Beverly and Shima driving. Everyone's driving. You see these back and forth, cut. Beverly, Shima, you're like kind of stuck in traffic here and there as it's raining, coming down. You're bumper to bumper trying to get over to Pasadena. It's like, it's the end of the day. It's just past rush hour, but it's also like early evening. And it's just like the rain is causing just all these backups. And we see Marie, you're trying to drive past. And then all of a sudden you see a shadow just kind of leap out in front of the car, and you swerve, Marie, and you fail, and you hit this thing, and you see the body of Pastor Wood plops down on your hood, and you can see his face is like smashed against the windshield. His eyes are moving. He's bleeding, blood everywhere. He is alive. But then, Patrick, you can see there are more shadows running, and you hear the sounds of gunfire. The back seat, the glass window of the back seat suddenly shatters. Marie, go ahead and give me another driving test. Patrick, or Pastor Wood, you can go ahead and deplete your luck because you were going to need it, as they were just going to come brain you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have spent the luck to pass that. That was my bad. All right, I'm gonna.
That's okay. This is the important one. This is the really important one.
All right. Oh gosh. All right. I'm taking 2, so it's under 60 is my target. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, so it's a 61. So
Spend 1 point of
it's
luck.
just the
and you
one.
should-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you slam on the brakes, you screech, and then the gunshots go off. One of the windows in the back of the car breaks. You kick it back into reverse and you start driving backwards on this rainy Hyacinth Avenue in this neighborhood. Pastor Wood's clinging to the hood itself, and you're just driving back, kind of swerving. Gunshots go off a few times. Patrick, how do you do anything to try to help Pastor Wood, who is literally he's about to fall off the hood? What do you do to try to grab him?
Stick my body out driver's side window, hang on to him.
Okay, so you just reach out, you hold him, and Marie, you're just kind of swerving back and forth, gunshot, until finally you like spin, you turn, you kind of hydroplane for a moment, and then as you guys swirl, you stop in the middle of this like T intersection, and you start driving off in the different direction. You don't even know which way you're going at this point, Marie, as you just drive away. And that's where we'll go ahead and call it for tonight, as you guys do manage to get away, bloody, bullets in you, Pastor out of luck. You had to use it because they were just going to come up and shoot you while you're down there.
That's what I figured when I was unconscious. So that's exactly what I wanted to do.
I understood.
So,
I understood what you were doing. Yeah, I understood what you were doing. So yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh!
And also by
Oh my
spending
God.
the luck, I get 1d6 plus 1 hit
Yes.
points back,
Recovery.
which I just rolled. So I actually rolled max. So I'm
You rolled a
healthier now
6.
than I was going into the fight.
Okay.
How does that make sense thematically?
Okay. So
Wow. Oh my gosh!
Holy
All
shit,
right.
Jeff.
Warm in here, guys.
not exactly how I thought the adventure into Samson Trammell's mansion would go, but yeah, here we are. So I'm excited.
Didn't
Here
expect a
we
gunfight to
are.
go off.
Well,
There were lots of armed guards.
there are a lot of armed guards, and 2 of you tried to break in by yourself. So this is what happens.
I did my best not to escalate, though. I feel like I deserve a pat on the back for that. That's not like me.
You also technically still have a ring of keys.
True. We're
That's
leaving
true.
LA, so it won't matter. But
Oh, you guys are running away? Cowards. Sounds like the cowards way. I think. All right. Okay, so that is it. We'll pick up. We'll figure out what the aftermath is going to look like. As I like to think comically, it's the one car leaving, and then like Beverly and Shima show up outside, and they're like, "Hey, is everything all right?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." Bam, 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 bam. They just like shoot in the car that shows up, and we just get it all confused. It's like a Silence of the Lambs moment, where it's just like this, like the different thing that's happened. Okay.
We're gonna
right.
actually flip it so that those are the 3 that get away and try and those that end up
Yeah.
dying.
And
I
we
was thinking
never
of that
see Bev
meme
and Shima ever again.
where we
Yeah.
like drive past and we're just like mean mugging each other, like what the fuck as we drive by.
Pastor Wood's still on the hood of the car.
All right. So,
Holy
so we'll pick up there, or in the aftermath, we'll figure out. We'll talk over what we want to do, and then we'll pick up there next week and see what's going on. All right, let's do some closing plugs and we'll get on out of here. Everyone okay? We all good?
Oh, it was
Yeah,
great.
fun.
Great session.
How low
so
are you,
good.
Patrick? I know I shot you a couple times.
Down to 14, but I used all my
Okay.
luck, so I'm at 0.
Tank.
You're fully down on
Yeah,
luck. Oh boy.
Yeah, used up all.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, because
Two people on
each
zero
time you
luck.
use tough guy, you got to spend luck, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
10 luck.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. So
That came
You
in
guys-
clutch though.
it did. Okay. And you destroyed Jack Bisner's flask. That's so sad. He gave you that as a gift.
It saved me.
It did. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some closing plugs and let's get on out of here. Let's start with My Tray. My Tray, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, holy shit! I don't even know. I'm Matthew plays games on YouTube, and you can watch me if you want. I'm just like obsessed with this game, and I'm gonna be thinking about it for the next like 4 hours. So
Awesome. Yeah. I'm very curious. We should talk. We're going to talk after. We should figure out what we want to do. Like if we're leaving, if that's cool. Totally an option. Absolutely staying. Totally not everything's on the table. So it's whatever you guys want to do. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. What's our next game? Next game's Monday. I think we've got some Fragged Empire, I believe. So you can see me, Maitre, Melissa in that game. Space Shenanigans, pretty fun time. Tuesday, Steven, what we got going on?
Tuesday, we're in between big campaigns, so we've been playing a lot of fun 1-2 shot games. And the next one will be Perils and Princesses. We're going to make characters on stream, and then we're going to put those princesses into peril. Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Next Thursday, we're back to Simbaroom, our new Dark Fantasy RPG campaign. So come hang out for that. Had a massive fight to start our campaign, and now we're settling into more investigative avenues and figuring out what the hell just happened. So very excited. Next Friday, speaking of Delta Green, Stephen was playing by Delta Green rules tonight. Our actual Delta Green game is next Friday. And then we'll be back for this on Saturday. It was great times. And if you haven't already checked out the YouTube page, Adventures in Lollygagging, go take a look at it. Maybe hit a subscribe, watch a couple of videos, do that like thing, drop a comment, something like that. We have all sorts of other games as well. So you can see our Alien game, you can see that. You can see some other games that we've run in the past here and there. So hopefully you find something that you like. And we also have the podcast Adventures in Lollygagging. And we have a Discord, Steven.
We do have a Discord. It's a pretty cool Discord where cool people hang out and have a lot of cool times. Yeah. So you all should come be cool with us and hang out on the Discord. And if you want to be like next level cool, there are some playtests happening for new Weird West RPG. You may have heard that I am designing. I dropped some really fucking cool art in the channel the other day, if I do say so myself. And we have a playtest session happening tomorrow night. So there's no reason not to join the Discord. When you thumbs up the rules, give the little cowboy hat, and come play some Weird West Cowboys with me. It'll be fun.
Fantastic, man. And that's it for us. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to go ahead and raid Fablemancers right now as they're playing Fallout. And if you haven't already, go check out Tales of Myth and Mayhem. They raided us at the beginning of the session. They're friends of ours. They're making some cool shit. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I'll be seeing you.